and kindness I greet you with. I am in the process of, if anybody can get into any of the chats, let me know. Oh, it looks like the Facebook pulled in. I am trying for the first time ever, I hope I set this up right, to do a multi-stream. So if everything is going correctly, this should be live right now on Twitch. I guess we could check Twitch. Let's check Twitch. And it should be live on Facebook. Oh, look at that. It's good. It's live there. Sweet. Okay, so we're good there. Let's check out Twitch and make sure that is doing its thing. Whoopsie. Okay, dude. So I just don't know about YouTube. And if anybody jumps on, if you could just throw me a comment. I'm trying to see if the rebroadcast stuff will all go up in the comments and whatnot. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. Oh, and look at that. It's up on health, fair, resolution, bitrate, settings. Is that recommended for? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It kind of shows you. Cool. All right, so let's check that out. That looks good. Oh my goodness. It's actually working. Jam, hello. How are you? Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm kind of messing with stuff right now. I just set up Restream for the first time, and I'm doing awesome. I'm doing so good. I just set this up, and I'm trying to make sure everything is kind of working correctly, because theoretically I should be live. Oh, I know, right? Mikey. And he's got his sailor hat on. And Sam's back there. Whoops, wrong way. Sam's back there, too. So he's wearing this was the last cover that I wore when I was in the Navy. And then Mikey's got my Dixie cup when I was in the Navy. Yeah, I got those. And then Willie, he's an actual little sailor over here. Willie the dummy. He's from an old Twilight Zone episode that I love. So let's see if I can view your channel on YouTube. Oh, snap. It is live. Dude, let's go. It's all there. I know, right? Yes, the Navy. World's greatest Navy right there. You want to say hi to my dog? Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Come on. Give me hugs. Can I have a hug? Oh, he's my good boy. Who's my good boy? Yes. I kiss my dog. I don't care. This is Asher. His breath is so bad, but he's such the sweetest boy in the whole world. I just love him. Oh, that's awesome. Your friend's been in the Navy for 12 years? That's incredible. Tell them I said thank you. That I truly appreciate it. And I'm glad that there's people out there still standing the watch, man. Still standing the watch. I love that. And I truly love this. Like, my chat has everything. Like, it shows, coming in from... Now, I wonder if you would see the people who came in from Facebook if they chat, or if you'll only see, because you're on Twitch, you'll only see the Twitch. But for me, I actually see all of them coming in, which is pretty amazing. Because I'm going to try and use this vehicle. I'm still going to game here and there on here, but really try and use it as a vehicle just of communication and trying to help people, man. Trying to change the world. I truly believe in that. My knuckle tattoo, TPWK, treat people with kindness. Shout out Harry Styles. Has a whole song about it. And I love that song. Harry kills it. But yeah, I'm all about trying to change the world, man. Yeah, my puppy's awesome. John, always the best. He's the best ever. Trying to get to 50 followers on Twitch. We're trying to get to, let's see, how many? We're going to 300 on YouTube and working towards 1,000 on the Facebook page. Shout out my boy B Money. He does all the TikTok. I don't know where we're at on TikTok because I don't have TikTok. I know, dude, I'm trying to get there, but thank you. Yes, trying to get to 50. I don't have a TikTok. I'm thinking about opening one up, though, because I was just talking to my buddy Luke this morning, and he was wearing his Beautiful Soul t-shirt, the podcast t-shirt. And you know what? Let me grab one so I can show you real quick. Okay. So I was talking to my buddy Luke this morning. He sent me a picture because we just did a really cool Hydra tattoo on his arm. And he was wearing his t-shirt. And these are the podcast t-shirts. So they come in this really cool box. Full wrap, beautiful soul. Because that's what it's about, man. We're about being beautiful souls. We're about being beautiful souls. Keep that soul beautiful. And then when you get your t-shirt, the box actually has the design in it as well. You get a nice little thank you card from yours truly, right on there. A nice holographic sticker, and these are all just one of a kind, you know, they're not gonna be like vague. And then certain boxes have the keychain in it. 10 out of 40 had the keychain in it, which is cool. But I was wearing my Beautiful Soul t-shirt yesterday, and this is the very first design of the Horror Pop t-shirts. And every time I wear this shirt, it seems like somebody out in the community that I see is like, dude, I love your shirt. I love your shirt. So I was talking to Bruce and everyone this morning. Oh, no. Oh, hi, Jem. Both my favorite Gems are here. But, yeah, check out the shirt. So that's the first official podcast t-shirt. Beautiful soul, dude. It's all about being a beautiful soul. It's going good, Jem. Life is good. I'm above ground. I'm breathing. My dog was just in here giving me kisses. I have so much I could be grateful for. But yeah, every time I wear this shirt out, it's like somebody out there is like, yo, I love your shirt. Where do I get one? So I think I might try and do a little bit of a bigger print next time. But my sizes are a little bit off. No, you are a beautiful soul. Seriously. We are all beautiful souls. We all have the ability to be beautiful, and we all have the ability to be not beautiful. All we are as human beings is just potential waiting to happen. And at any moment, you can choose, I want to be beautiful, or you can choose, I want to be ugly. And I'm just out here trying to show people, help people find that beauty in them. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to find the beauty in you. And that's kind of my goal with everything. So today I'm going to do some records. We're going to talk about some records. I got some vinyl that I'm very excited about. I'm going to share a little bit out of Thich Nhat Hanh. How to Love, dude. How to Love. There's some cool little nuggets in there. And then we're actually going to do Chamber 3 because I've been reading through the chambers with my little pencil, trying to take notes out of the book as there's some mistakes in there. That's just what it is. There's just some mistakes in there. Yeah, and that's right, Jem. Be your own beautiful. And I think when we can be at peace with ourselves, then we have the ability to share that peace with other people. We can't give somebody something we don't have. You know, if we don't have love, you know, inside, we can't give love. If we don't have peace inside, we can't give peace. If I don't have a cheeseburger, I can't give you a cheeseburger. You know, you have to have something in order to give it to somebody else. So the more I think we can make ourselves... Yes. Oh, B Money in the house, dude. What up, B? What up, B? Asher, please leave the neighbors alone. Oh, he's so loud. You hear him? B Money in the house. That's my guy. That's my social media guy. B, if you can hop on Twitch, dude, you should follow both the Gems. Follow both the Gems who are in the chat right now because they're awesome, dude. Cool peoples, good gamers, and just lovely human beings. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Asher! What? What? There ain't no one here. Stop with the barking. You'll be driving the neighborhood crazy. Yeah, go give them a follow, B. Oh, sweet. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, it does sound like your house. I love when I'm watching your... Oh, you're good, Jem. Lurk around. Listen, I soothe my queen of quality, my everything, my wife. There is so often that if I read out loud, because I like to read out loud. Oh, there he is. B Money's in the Twitch house. I like to read out loud, and she says it just puts her to sleep. She's like, your voice, it's soft and is, I don't know, it just makes me want to close my eyes. So that's cool too, man. That's cool too. Oh, dude, look at that. Oh, Jem and Bruce. and Bruce connecting. That makes me so happy. And Jem, if you guys ever see Bruce online, definitely go give him a follow. He is truly a beautiful soul. He radiates kindness, compassion, understanding. Now you get him on some Call of Duty. You get him on some Call of Duty, and it'll be a little more, yeah. But Bruce is the best. He is our podcast social media person, and he just takes care of me in the best ways possible. I'm so happy you guys are connected, dude. That's what life is about. That's what life is about. Yeah, I got all kinds of spooky things going on over here behind me. This is where I do the podcast at. This was my dream office. I've had it, it's been my dream for like 5 years. Even if you turn it around, I wonder if I can show you kind of in front of my desk. Not really. But we got, a bunch of stuff up there too. I love my dark crystals. But yeah, a bunch of stuff all over. Well, this is my happy place. Oh, you're good. I know what you meant. I know you meant Michael. That's okay, dude. They're both just the strong, quiet type. One of them like, the other one just ding, 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 ding. And he does fully animate him, and you can see Sam's back there too. Sam and Mikey, but they both got their sailor gear on. They're ready to go in the Navy. I can in the Navy. All right, dude, let's get into some vinyl. I'm excited. Some records that I need to wrap up. I thought I would share because I like vinyl. I'm a vinyl guy, and I don't always want to talk about, the mindful. I think it's important to talk about the mindfulness stuff and all of that, but I also just want to celebrate life. That's what this is about, is being in a place where we can celebrate with each other, just being alive and being like, I see you just as a human being. And I do. Everyone I see like the whole universe inside of you, man. It's like I meet people. And it breaks my heart when I see people suffering and struggling. And I was talking with a friend about it last night or yesterday at the shop. And we were discussing this idea that, the world is statistically safer than it has ever been, but we are statistically more afraid than we have ever been. And that makes me sad, dude. Like, it kind of breaks my heart thinking about a big portion of the population walking around and afraid of things, afraid of the past or afraid of the future or afraid of something's going to happen and afraid of all of this. And that's hard. And I don't think any of us are really meant to do that, to be in that fight or flight almost 24/7. For instance, this dog. I'm going to shut the door on him. Hang on. Asher, leave the neighbors alone. I'm going to close the curtains. Where are you? Hey, no. You leave people alone outside. They're just walking their pets. See, now you just curtain shut your face. Now you don't get to look outside. He's not happy with me. I just shut the front door on him, or the front window curtain. He's not happy at me. But yes, it's this, fight or flight is really important. I think it's good to have in our systems, but at the same time, if it's happening in instances like, oh no, I'm at the coffee shop and I'm running a few minutes behind. If we're having full fight or flight in those situations, that's not, I don't think, a good situation, because the fight or flight releases cortisol all through the body. And then once we have cortisol all in our bodies, things just start to go, awry. So we're going to get into some of that, how to love, and then we're going to get into some chamber work. All right, cool. Have fun, Jem. I appreciate the look. Get that bacon cooking. I'm going to start sharing some vinyl. Let's go, dude. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty of things. So first up, so freaking stoked about this. Music composed by John Massari. John Massari, I think is how you say it. Massari. And it is the official motion picture soundtrack score, Killer Clowns from Outer Freaking Space, dude. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And the beauty of it is that the first track, they actually do have the song by the Dickies, the Killer Clowns theme song, if you've never heard it. Kevin, good morning, brother. How are you doing this morning, dude? How's the ladies' tattoos holding up? Everybody doing okay? So you got the killer clowns, and then you get, I love this, even though I took it out and it took me a long time to get it back in, and I think I might frame it. I might find me a little 12 by 12 frame, because how good is this, dude? Look at Officer Mooney when he gets turned into a freaking ventriloquist puppet. Hey, Dave. Oh, Dave. But yeah. But then if I frame it, unless I did it in a clear frame, I like to have the stuff on the back, you know, because you got the little dudes, the little popcorn guys in there. Looks so good. It began from the moment that a luring and mystical spaceship appeared, innocently nestled in a peaceful forest. This is my film, I thought to myself. And this is just notes from the composer about, you know, putting it together and things like that. Yeah, this little sheet in here, man, did I have a... Oh, look, it's going in easy this time. Or easier. Lucky me. Shayna and Annabelle went to the beach this morning, which is wonderful, living so close to the beach. Oh, come on, get in there. See what I'm talking about? Like, this one really... There we go. Okay. Let's get this guy sleeved up. Very excited to listen to the full Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Very excited. Protect your vinyl. How's everybody doing on a Sunday morning, though? Let me know how you're doing, dude. Chime in. Let's go. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I can't wait to listen to it. Double LP, which is always good. You know you're getting all the goodies when you go to double LP. All right, this hasn't even been opened up yet. I gotta get my knife out so I can clear the plastic. I found this next artist, I would say maybe a year and a half ago. If you don't know this about me, I am a really big fan of the blues. I love the blues. The blues, I think, is in all our blood if we open up to the blues. Cute, nice, dude. Have a lazy boy morning. And I'm glad everybody's tattoos are feeling good. That makes me happy. Yo, this artist that I'm about to put up right now, Kev, you gotta check her out, dude. I think you would really dig on her music. I'm gonna read just the little snippet here. Powerhouse performer. I'm not going to give you your name yet. I'm going to wait. But powerhouse performer was a singing sensation who did not get the recognition of her talents so richly deserved. 100%. Possessing one of the most soulful voices in R&B history, this collection features 16 epic tracks, including her titanic take on the Lieber and Stoller #1 Hound Dog. So, you know, Elvis would do Hound Dog, probably most famously, but in my opinion, this is the only version of Hound Dog that should ever be listened to. It is so good, dude. The singer not only gifted the world one of the most bombastic interpretations of the blues, but she also helped redefine the place of black women in the music business. And there's only one lady that could have done that, dude. Queen everything, Big Mama Thornton. Truly one of the best blues voices, best soul voices to ever do it, dude. Big Mama Thornton. I found her on the radio. She just popped up on a blues station, or maybe it was my Discovery station on my phone. But either way, as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, I need to know more about Big Mama Thornton. I need Big Mama Thornton in my life. And so, yeah, very stoked to dig into this. I kind of want to look for some. I still haven't quite got there, but I want to get into sampling a little bit and figure out how to sample some stuff and just make some little beats for fun. But Big Mama Thornton, I want to grab some samples on for sure. So she's got a place in here. If you are into like honesty in music, if you are into soul, if you are into blues, Big Mama Thornton is the artist for you. Definitely check her out. Another one that hasn't been opened. This one is a result of my great homie Casper. Robert Casper, one of the coolest dudes and just an amazing tattoo artist. He tattooed a xenomorph on me recently. You can check it out. It's somewhere on my page. But check out some Casper stuff, man. He is incredible. And him and he shares a love for music and cinema. Yes, you got to get some Big Mama Thornton. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed, dude. You will not be disappointed with Big Mama Thornton. But Casper and I, we share a love of cinema, and on top of cinema scores. Cinema scores. We both really love us some Hans Zimmer, but I saw this one at the bookstore the other day, and we had just been talking about the movie, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab it up just because it was on sale. It was on sale, and I remember it being a good score. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I thought I'd go back, and it's just a cool cover. Sin City, Frank Miller's Sin City. This was... a huge movie at the time. Huge. Look at him. Look at what was his name? Marv? Maybe? I can't remember what Mickey Rourke's character's name was. But yeah. Marv, yeah, that's it. Goldie's dead. Some great voices, great performances. So I am excited to listen to this and see what kind of, noirish sounds and things might come out of it. It's going to be fun, though. I know that. Executive producer Robert Rodriguez. Good for you, Robert Rodriguez. I hope Robert Rodriguez and his family are doing good in the world. Sometimes I'll do that when I think about people I never even met before and probably will never meet in my whole life. Like Robert Rodriguez. I really will be like, yo, Robert Rodriguez, I hope you and yours are good, dude. I hope you and yours are good. All right, 2 more before I got to actually open a box. This is another one in line with like Big Mama Thornton. There's another female voice from back in the day that is just one of my favorite sounds on the planet. When she would open her mouth to sing, it was truly like the heavens would open and angels and all that would be singing. But this is a double album, and I've actually almost bought this album an original printing, but I wanted to get the newer one so the sound was there. The reprint on the virgin vinyl, not used vinyl, waxed back down stuff on the virgin vinyl. But this is a duo album that's, morning Chelsea! How are you, my friend? That's another horror pop gangsta right there. Chelsea's awesome, dude. Be sure to check out her and Bruce. If you're on the Twitch right now, follow them along because they are wonderful. And then Chelsea, if you look in the Twitch, if you have to get into the Twitch chat, you should absolutely follow both of the gems in there. The gems are the best. Bruce gave them both a follow. They are amazing human beings. I promise you, if you ever see their streams and stuff pop up, you won't be mad. And they play cool games and they're fun gamers. So yeah, for sure, connect there, dude. I think you guys get along great. But this album, 2 giants. Ella and Louie, dude. Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. And if there's 2 voices that, because Louis had the Lou, skies are blue, clouds are white. He had that, and then Ella just had that voice of an angel, man. They were both voices of an angel. Just one's a gravelly angel, and one sounds like more an angel. But yeah, Ella and Louis, super excited. Yo, what up, Nick? What up, homie? Nick Robbins in the house, yo. That's the dude right there. I hope you're having a good morning, man. I'm about to be sharing some knowledge here in a minute. I've got the How to Love that I'm going to share a little out of, and the 7 chambers. I'm going to be going through chamber 3 today, shortly. But I'm just doing some vinyl first. Oh, yay! Yay, Chelsea! That's amazing! That's amazing. I promise you're going to love these cats. And both of my gems, I promise you will love Seawolf and B-Money. They are like, if you like me, you will love them. If you think I'm all right. Okay, and this is the last one. Actually, no, there's 2 more. But one's in a big old box. Look, I actually got to open the whole thing's open. It just showed up yesterday, but it was hot outside, so I left it inside, hoping that it would, the temperature would do its thing. Yo, what up, leaky sump pump? Or leaky sump plug? Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome. I'm doing this, this live stuff. I finally got I can't remember what it's called, Restream or something like that, set up correctly. So I'm live I should be live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now. And I plan to get a schedule going so that I can make these known. I think Sunday morning is definitely going to be one of them, is where I'll sit, and then I'm going to try and find one other day of the week. And then I think Tuesday nights are going to be for gaming. We've been playing a lot of Broforce lately, but yeah, Tuesday nights are going to be for gaming, and then the other days of the week I'll just be doing this stuff. Right now, I'm just showing off some vinyl, just celebrating love of music, and then I'm going to be getting into my book a little bit. Pops Ghostly's 7 Chambers of Tattoo and Life, Finding Hope in the Hopeless, and I'm going to go through Chamber 3. I've done a couple of streams that I went through Chamber 1 and 2. Really, this is the first time that I've actually read the book since... Thanks for the lurk, Wolf. This is the first time that I've read the book out loud, and I'm finding some little mistakes in there and things like that I want to change, redundancy in words and whatnot. So I'm sharing that, and then hopefully, just sharing, trying to change the world. Truly, trying to change the world just through kindness, trying to be nice. All right, this next one. This is the first time this... okay, in like 3 sentences, what's the book about? It's a book about a human being who was stuck in a super dark, awful place in life and couldn't figure out, how to get out. Radical change. It's a book about radical change. It's a book about if you're in a place and you're like, I don't want to be here. I know I want something different from my life. When you sit down at night to go to sleep, you feel that aching, like in your soul. It's just like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something different. This is a book for those people, and it's a book of how to do it, how to do those things. And it's a book, the book really isn't, kind of faith-based, and I tried to keep it that way, to where it could be applied, if you're a person who believes in Jesus, this is for you. If you're, a person who maybe your faith isn't so strong, this is for you too. I tried to make it accessible to anyone. Anyone can use these. And when I get into it, you'll see, but a lot of it is, goal setting, things like that. And then I've got in the back actual worksheets and things that you can use. I've got to get a Google Drive or something that... people can download these and print them off, but this is how, it's all there, like how to, essentially make a plan, execute that plan, and live the life you want to live. And it's combined experience from myself. I was in the military for almost a decade. When I got out, I went to college, got a master's degree in organizational leadership and development. Did the big, what up, Chelsea? How are you this morning? Or Cheryl? Sorry. How are you, Cheryl? I did the big corporate America thing until I was making, a good 6 figures money, and I was super unhappy, So it's a book for people, I guess, who just want to live. It's a book for, I know I want to get out, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it. And I'm not trying to make anyone else me. I don't want to make you me. I'm hoping to help others bring out the best in themselves that's already there. I think we just need to learn how to unlock it a little bit. I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. I'm kind of recovering a little bit today. Yesterday was busy, and I went out to my mom's to... oh, no worries. Yeah, you can... Everyone has that one thing. So for me, it really was a culmination of many things. There was a lot of PTSD I didn't deal with after the military. And that coupled with the unhappiness that I was having in life, I was trying to solve internal problems with external things. It was like I was constantly buying stuff and trying to, fill that hole inside me. And I realized I buried myself in wisdom literature from every corner of the world. And then I picked up all of the... I worked with a therapist for a little bit at first because I did have, and please, if anybody's sensitive, I got the numbers and stuff, you need to call someone. But I did have suicidal ideation with a plan, with everything. My mental health was so bad and everything was so chaotic in my mind that it felt like a better idea to not exist because I couldn't live like that anymore with that madness in my head. And I realized that every decision I had made in my life, every choice, every behavior, every habit had led to where I was at in that moment. And I made the decision that I have to change this or else this isn't going to change. If I don't change my behaviors, then the results are going to keep being the same over and over. And it was so scary and so dark and such an awful place. It was literal hell. I feel like I was burning like from the inside out. It was a nightmare on earth. And that's when I made the decision that I was like, I have to change this. And so I started looking for role models, whether it be throughout history, whether it be in writing. You know, I found Marcus Aurelius, and then I found Epictetus, and then I found Seneca, and I found the Stoics. And then I went, you know, to the Far East and found all these other schools of thoughts. And then I went even further and tried to find everything. And I found kind of the common threads, you know, everything that seemed to be the same across all of these things, and looked for the commonality and started to try and practice those things. And it felt really awkward at first. It felt uncomfortable. It didn't feel right, you know, like radical forgiveness and things like that didn't feel the normal, because I'd always been someone who was told, like, you're super unique, you're super special, you're one of a kind. And that's true. Exactly, Kev, exactly. Same action, same result every effing time. But once I started seeing myself as part of a big interconnected everything, once I started seeing that the constant in the universe is change. That is the way our universe works. It works in just constant change. And I realized that individually, I was trying to make it permanent. I was trying to grab on to the change and wanted it to stay the same. And the more I did that, the more I got, you know, it was a long road. And that's what got me to the book. And at first it started just leaving corporate America in order to pursue tattooing. It was just 7 mantras that I could follow myself just to keep me on track, from making a whole bunch of money to making a whole little bit of money or no money at all. And I was like, I need to set myself up to make some money because I got 3 kids. I want clothes. I want food. We need shelter. All of that. And so I made the chambers, and they were just a couple sentences, and I printed them out on a single sheet of paper. And once I started tattooing, I hung them up in my tattoo booth. I put it up in my tattoo booth, and whenever I felt my mind getting a little bit racy and things, I would look up there and, you know, figure out which one that I would align to and be like, okay, just, you know, stay focused, do this, do that. Oh, dude, yes, the DTs. So I hope, Cheryl, I will get you a copy of the book. I think I have 1 or 2 more left that aren't accounted for, but I will put your name on the list. I'm sorry to hear about Leaky. I'm sorry to hear about the DTs and stuff. That is part of my journey. I actually drank away my pain for a long time. And when I stopped drinking, I was at about 1.5 1/2 of whiskey a night that I would drink. Alcohol ruled my entire life. It really, like, from the moment I woke up, it was like, okay, I know I'm going to stop at this store to get my booze. I'm going to go, you know, on the way home, I stop here, get a little half pint, pound it before I walk into the door. So they got a nice little, you know, warmth and fuzzy going. But, I hope that you're in a good place with that, and I hope you got some good support. And if not, let me, you know, if I can help you in any way, let me know. I will, you know, help you find systems. That's something that I'm trying to do with my own life, is really get into the community and help connect people with the resources that they need. Not necessarily give people resources, but help connect them with the ones that, you know, can help get them on that path. Because we need help, dude. It is so hard to do anything on your own in this world. You need a good support system, and it doesn't have to be a big support system. 1 or 2 of those people in your life who you can share your grief with, who are non-judgmental of you, who will be open to you wanting to change, you know, somebody who you can take with you and say, I want to make this change in my life. You know, can you support me? Can you help hold me accountable to my actions? Could you do that for me? Could you be that person? Would you please? Like, if someone really truly cares about you, they will want to help you. They will, and that's great. Yes. Cheryl, go to counseling. And then we've got Leaky. Let's see here. I'm 5 years deep at the moment. I'm from Australia. Okay, but my worst. Yeah, so that's, and you're only 24, dude. And you're only, and we don't know how bad it is. And I'm not sure about Australia, but I know in the States, and especially when I was in the military, drinking was celebrated. It was part of the culture. Like, the more wasted you could get, nice, dude. I'm about 7 years into my journey right now, a little over 7 years into into no alcohol, and that's good. But let's connect, dude. If you need somebody, you know, to help, somebody to talk to, just to express those feelings that you're having of, I appreciate that, dude. Yes. But if you need a place where you can safely talk about that shit, and I'll tell you, I never did AA. I never went to meetings. I did get a DUI once, went back in 2007 when I was in the military, and I had court mandated AA meetings. And I used to go to those because the court told me I to. But when I stopped drinking, when I gave up booze, for the first time, or finally, and I tried a couple times, Leaky, let me tell you, I tried a couple times. What I can say, my man, is, or woman, I'm not sure, you know, but what I can say is just try to fail forward. You know, if you fall, fall forward, and when you get back up, you'll still be a couple steps ahead of where you were. Fail forward. And the more you can fail forward, you know, you're eventually getting there. And don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up when you fail. Whatever it is, you know, alcohol is so addicting that the withdrawals kill more people than heroin. So I look at it as I took it to the right level, you know, it was an addictive substance and I got hyper addicted to it. That's right, Kev. Sometimes can be more difficult than the choice to use them. That's right. And I think having someone in your corner who is like, I'm here for you, man, like who encourages you. If you're like, I'm feeling like crap today, this is really, really hard. And it's not to say don't feel like crap. You can do it, da 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 da. You know, be like, I feel you. You know, that's a rough situation. Try to be empathetic. Try to be there. I'm with you. And I think it's a prude. I'm not sure how I say it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, alcohol is so normalized and so regular. Yes. Oh, the interlock device in your car. Yeah. Blowing the thing and do all that. It is. It's, you know, it's, oh, right on, right on. Oh, it's so nice. Ah, that's wonderful. This is beautiful. But yes, it's such a normalized thing. And, you know, and I don't try and demonize it. I don't try and tell people, you know, you shouldn't drink and blah, 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 blah. But I do believe that, and the FDA finally supports it. You know, over here, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, they finally came out and said there is zero health benefit in alcohol. You used to, you know, hear, well, a glass of wine a day is good for your heart health and things like that. Well, now they're saying no, you know, eating a couple blueberries would have the same exact benefit without the negative benefits that come along with it. Because at the end of the day, alcohol is the same exact ethanol or petrol that we put in our cars. Think about that. It is the same exact thing that we use to run our cars. And if you've ever seen someone take their first drink, if you've ever been around, no one enjoys it. Whether it be a beer, whether it be a hard liquor, whether it be a wine, whether it be anything, they take a sip and it's like, you know, they do this face because your body is rejecting the poison. It's poison. And that's why we church our drinks up with so much sugar and we mix it, you know, with a chaser and with this and with that, because it doesn't taste good until the point where you have new neural pathways. We start to develop new neural pathways. We get this dopamine feedback loop started that is predicated on the presence of alcohol in the body. Every time we take that little drink, now that dopamine feedback loop is satisfied. And, you know, and Leaky, seriously, thank you so much for sharing your story in the chat, dude. That takes a vulnerability, or my lady, I'm not sure, but that takes a vulnerability that, you know, isn't easy. And I really appreciate it because that's what I'm hoping these lives turn into, is a place where people can feel safe. Right on. All right, my dude. It's a place where people can feel safe. They can feel open and we can talk about these things, you know, the stuff that maybe we don't talk about enough with each other. We need to be able to talk about these things. Not everything should be a surface level conversation. I'm not saying those aren't not, you know, they're fine. But every once in a while, we got to dig a little bit deeper. You know, it's not like, oh, what did you think about the last episode of House of the Dragons? Oh, did you love it? Oh, this new song came out. Did you hear it yet? Oh, did you see this viral video? Did that happen yet? Those are all cool. But every once in a while, we have to be able to look at each other and be like, yo, are you good? Talk to me. I'm here for you. And when we're here for each other, we need to be present. And it took me a while to get to that, to just really stop. And when I'm with you, to look into your eyes and just be like, I'm listening. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not thinking about my family. I'm not thinking about the next tattoo I got to do. I am here for you. Because in my opinion, that is the greatest gift I can give anyone, is peace of presence, you know, or presence of peace, maybe, is to give my complete everything to that person and to say, how can, you know, what can I do? And I think the more we can do that for each other. But yeah, thank you, dude. I really do appreciate you sharing and stuff like that. And the normalization of alcohol in the military was so bad. So bad. Like, you were celebrated for going out and being like fall over drunk by noon, you know, like blacked out drunk by 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, look at him go, dude. He's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's great feedback too. You know, not even sure if it's possible, but if you got crazy, yes. And that's something I'm trying to figure out, is to, you know, because I was wondering, can the chats be cross-seen? But I don't know how it would work because with Restream, but I'm going to look into it. I'm going to try and make it happen to see if we can get some kind of centralized chat. I did open or created a Discord for all of this stuff, and I'll share that soon, because I don't even remember what it is now, but I will. Let me see if I can. Where are you, Discord? I need to take a breath anyway. I need to take a breath. And sometimes that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. I've heard that, dude. I'm so sad I never got to go to Australia. When I was in the Navy, I really want to go. As much as I've read about the culture and things like that and the history of the country, and I'm a big, you know, nature person and things like that, so I like to see wildlife and stuff, and I would really like to visit Australia. There we go. Sorry, you guys, just give me a minute here. Let me see if this is right. Whew, yeah, I need to take a breath anyway. It's important to take breaths. It's important to take breaths. Oh, you know what? I can just open it on my phone. I don't know why. I just got a new PC set up. Which is cool. But at the same time, I am a Mac person. So it's more for me, you know. I'm learning the ins and outs. Okay, so what does this say? Welcome to Horror Pop Manor. Yeah, you made it. How do I actually... I gotta look how to actually share it. That's how ignorant I am of this stuff. And that's okay, you know what I mean? It's totally okay to be like, I don't understand that. That's also a great thing you can do in life, is just be comfortable being ignorant. You know, I try to be the most ignorant person in the room most of the time, because that, you know, allows me to learn and be with... Oh, here we go. Okay, so... Is it invite? I'll figure it out, and then I'll throw it in here at some time. Oh, wait. Okay, copy link. And then let me see if I can open Twitch. You guys are so patient. I appreciate you. I'm so good. You're right. And who knows? Maybe I'm actually looking to grow a little bit. Let's turn that volume down. The team, the podcast team. Okay, see if that works. I don't know if I did it right. I don't know if I did the right thing, but check that out, see if that works, and if we can do something there. And then I need to get better about like having the multiple windows open and all that stuff, you know, and I'll get there. It's okay to not know. It is so okay. Don't be afraid to be like, I don't know. Could you teach me? And then just shut your mouth and keep your ears open. Because I've had friends, my buddy Will has helped out a ton with this stuff, and I think he'll even do it again. I agree, dude. The Mac is so good for video content, but I will say that I found on the PC that I do a lot of my editing in DaVinci Resolve, and a lot of the speed and everything it's great. Like, it's phenomenal. Oh, dude, let's go. Yes. I'm trying to really find an editor is what I'm looking for. Somebody who's going to take, content, break it down in the best way possible, continue to put that stuff out. But I'm looking for some like-minded people who are dedicated, and who want to grow, who have that, and you don't got to come in perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. I jack stuff up all day long, and I got to be kind to myself about it and be like, yo, I'll be sweet. Yes. Sounds great, my friend. Perfect. Yeah. Reach out. I'll be looking forward to talking as I'm continuing to do stuff. All right, let's do a couple more records because I need to get them in sleeves, and then we're going to talk a little bit about book stuff. And this won't take long for these couple of records, but this one, I'm so excited. This is the first time that this has ever been released. Like, ever been officially released on any format. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is one of my favorite scores of all time. I feel it is so effective and it works like crazy. And that is the 1974 masterpiece, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, dude. Ah! I'm so excited. Those, them camera noises at the beginning. Oh, Jem, thank you. It sounds good. Like I said, we'll figure it out, dude. We'll figure it out as we go. But the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre score, you got leather on the back. I've always made it, I feel a strong argument that Leatherface is, he was just wrong environment. Had he been in the right environment, he would have been totally okay. But check this out. Look at the whole inner sleeve. You can sit for dinner. Who wants to have some dinner? Grandpa was the best killer there ever was. Said he could have done 60 if the hook and chain could have got him out of the way quick enough. And it comes with this awesome book. Look at it. You get the armadillo on the back. You get Terry McMinn on the front. I actually had the awesome ability or opportunity to interview Terry a while ago, and it was so cool. Okay, let's see what you got, Kev. I'm going to read these. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Leagy. If you find a spot that you think I'd be good. Oh, dude, yes. Yeah, dude, yes. Because your heart is already so good, Kev. And I will keep that open, my dude. I will keep that open. But all these, this is so rad. I flipped through it last night, and I'm not going to put you guys through all of it, but look at the full production schedule. There's notes on everything from the movie. You get these cool behind-the-scenes pictures. Everybody was so sweaty out in Texas, It was, the whole history of this movie and stuff. It's incredible. And really wasn't a huge hit when it first came out. It took a little while. People were like, so gross, so something. But it was, if you go back and look at it, it was a beautiful expose of America at the time. The gas shortage and the industrializations taking over the, taking people's jobs. We're kind of in another renaissance like that, where it's like automation is coming into a place. Dude, thank you so much. I think you're awesome just for saying that. And I'm going to try and figure out how to effectively use the Discord, and I'll share stuff there. Because there's the new, and if anybody is interested in the book, so there was 75 printed the first time. And in the fall, I'm going to be doing an official first printing once I get my notes cleaned up and get things moved around. But I will find a way to where if you would like one, no pressure or anything like that. But if you would like one, to where you can get your name on a list and stuff. So that way I know you'll get one. Oh, okay. And this one, again. Oh, such a good story, such a good score. One of my favorite Bill Moseley characters. I actually have met Bill a couple of times. Bill is one of the nicest human beings on the planet, dude. And again, I had just had the amazing opportunity. I might reach out and see if she might want to talk again, because I would love, now that we've got the new podcast going, to talk to Caroline Williams again. But she, of course, is the star of Stretch in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And I saw the back of this dude. I might want to try and tattoo this right here. If I could make a cool image of like her. I guess it's not that fun because you can't see her face, but yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2. I think one of the most underrated sequels of all time. Look at the inner sleeve. I haven't seen this one yet. Leatherface and Nubbins. Where's Nubbins? He's the little Vietnam dummy that he uses on the truck. Looks like we got some cool information. Nice sleeve. Everybody at whoa! Everybody at dinner over here. We got that going on. So at some point today I'm going to do this, but I'm actually doing an interview about a movie, interviewing a director today, a movie called Arbor Day. Thanks, man. I'm a singing guy. I know we all need to sing more. Make, you know, if you're going to open your mouth, try and make a nice noise. Make a joyful noise. Feels a lot better to sing than like talk shit about someone or to bring people down in any way. Get in here, yo. That's the hard thing about some of these, the bigger LPs, is they don't want to go in the sleeves as easily. Maybe we'll sing it in there. Go in the sleeve. Leatherface, go in the sleeve. Look at that. We truly sang it in there. That's good. Look at Dennis Hopper on there, man. He looked like, there's a couple scenes in the movie though, he looked like he was like partying hard while they were making this movie. Oh, and the first one came with a tote. The soundtrack to the first movie came with this cool Waxworks Records tote. So you can go to Trader Joe's somewhere, the bookstore, and show all your friends how much you love Leatherface. You'll be the envy. You'll be the envy of the bookstore. Or not, they'll be like, look at this weirdo. What's she doing with that? Creepo. Alright, how's everybody doing? Hope you're still doing. Yo! What up, Will? What up? How are you? I'm glad to see you, dude. I was talking about you earlier. 2 Samuel 6:14. I'd have to look it up. I am a Bible person. I read daily. I've read most of the ancient wisdom literature, but that's the one that is my daily type reading type stuff. Because there's so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much understanding, and not, you know, in the That's right. And David, that's one to look at, dude. Somebody who was faulted. Somebody who was like, yo, I want that lady over there. So I'm going to send her husband away to go get killed in battle, and then I'm going to snatch her and marry her and stuff. But they say he was a man after God's own heart. So we're all faulted in the same way, dude. You could be just like David. But let's get to right, exactly. Oh, cool, dude. Cool. Yes, I'm so happy to have you. Listen, though, Will, I got this on, I set it up through Restream, and I should be live right now on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But I'm hoping that you and I might be able to talk at some point and figure out if there's a way to collectively get all of the chats together. I don't know if that's possible, but if you happen to, don't worry about it right now. Do your yard work, my man. Enjoy that time being outside. Just try and take a couple breaths and just look at nature. Look at a tree and be like, external lungs, thank you. Yeah, tree, you're sick. Oh, dude, Leaky, seriously. I am so grateful that you showed up in this stream today, my friend. I am genuinely grateful. Like, respect. If you can figure it out, let me know. Yeah, if there's some way we can get there. I would love to be able to do that. So let's start with a little thing. I'm just going to open this randomly and just read something out of it. This is How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a little like pocket book. He's got a whole series of these little pocket books. I've read quite a few of his actual books. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Vietnamese Zen Buddhist who just passed away a few years ago. He was very vocal about stopping the conflict and war in Vietnam. You read his history. At a few points, him and his monks were walking through Vietnam as bombs were exploding and guns were being shot everywhere, meditating and trying to create a place of peace. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't know if I said that already, by Martin Luther King Jr., which to me, on your OBS studio, Oh, okay, sweet. Yes, yes. Oh, look how quick Leaky was getting that. But he also was the founder of the Plum Village in France, was where he lived for a long time after he was, ostracized from his country and his homeland, was away from his family for so long. Just truly was an awesome vehicle of peace in the world. And I've learned a lot from Thich Nhat Hanh over the years. I consider him a teacher of sorts, someone where if I'm struggling, I can go, if I go to one thing, I don't just go to like one specific thing. There's so much, in the world, so many teachers out there. If you look, just try to find the ones who have done something that you're trying to accomplish and follow what they did, or find the insights in there. Mr. Rogers is one of the biggest ones for me. And I got my mug right here, all this stuff, but he has had such a profound impact as a teacher. Like, I see Mr. Rogers as an influence, as a big influence in teacher, because he demonstrated the behaviors that I was looking to achieve. And I saw, like, somebody else could do that. So how did they do that? What did they do? And you find a lot of the best teachers, a lot of them follow the same kind of, really seeing the value in giving yourself to others. It's such an oxymoron. The more you give, the more you get. And most of us have heard that phrase before, but actually putting it in practice is difficult. I think it takes time, but it is real. And when you get to that point, it almost becomes overwhelming, the joy that you find in sharing with others, which is cool. So let's get into it. I'm just going to flip through a couple. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop. Okay. We have two that we could choose from here, because each page is just a tiny little kind of thought, meditation, whatever you want to call it, that you can sit on. So let's go with reconciling from a distance. I like that. Reconciling from a distance, because a lot of unwinding our own trauma and our own obstacles to life, a lot of that comes with reconciliation, whether that be with someone who hurt us, whether it be with a parent. And it doesn't have to be, reconciliation face to face. It can be reconciling what happened within ourselves, reconciling what happened and being kind to ourselves and creating that little place of kindness and peace and joy and loving and having that inside of us and using that as the vehicle to then we go there, reconcile the self. What's crazy, Leaky, is I was if I was going to stay in the Navy, I was going to pursue being a Navy chaplain. I wanted to. I was really, but it's weird because at that point in my life, I feel like I had a very wrong relationship with God, the universe, whatever anybody wants to call it. I feel like it was very different and it was more self-centered. But now things seem to be in a cool way. That kind of a little more of the selfless stuff. I like the selfless stuff. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's about just the more you get to people, the more it comes back. Treat other people how you'd want to be treated. When I see other people, even if they're in a funky mood, like if somebody's really upset and you can feel it, you can feel the energy coming off of them. I don't try and give back negative energy. I try not to reciprocate, because I believe if negative meets negative, we're just adding to the negative pile. If violence meets violence, we're just creating more violence. If anger meets anger, we're just creating more anger. However, if I can meet anger with kindness, at best, it might be a wash. And I try to see myself in everyone else, because there's been times I've been angry. There's been times I've said things to just make someone angry. There's been times I've done terrible things that I wish I had never, now I don't wish I'd never done them. I realize that the dirtiest mud can make the prettiest lotus. But we're all, we've all been there. If we can see the similarities, the commonality, even if the trigger for the anger might have been a little bit different, that doesn't mean that the feeling that we had was different. So if I can meet them with kindness, then we'll try and make it a wash. But I was going to ask before, but I feel like it's not something to talk about on stream because others might get annoyed. No, I don't think it's a problem at all. I'll tell you my relationship with Jesus. Jesus, I think for a lot of people, and we'll get right back to Thich Nhat Hanh. In my opinion, now I'm going to tell you right now that this is just my feelings. I'm not trying to ask you to believe in anything, but this is my feelings. I do not pretend to understand everything there is of God or the unknown. and I never will. I think that's, even biblically speaking, faith is something you have to do. It's the unseen. It's belief in something that you can't see. I don't try to use the Bible. So when I read the Bible, and this is how I think the Bible is intended to be read, again, I could be wrong, but for me, any wisdom text, not just the Bible, any wisdom text, when you open that book up, you read it, and you point all of that towards yourself. You do not point it outwards in judgment towards other people. You use it to look inward and say, where am I and what can I be working on now? For too long, I think, and I was even kind of raised in an environment where the Bible was used and Jesus was used to oppress people. He was used, I'm so sorry you got the ad during that, but he was, the Bible was used as a way to chastise. Jesus was used as a way to say you are being wrong and you are not right. Historically, I spent a lot of time reading the history of the Bible. Where did it come from? What are our oldest known writings? Who found them? Where did they go from there? I spend time with the Greek and the Hebrew where I can to get the original context, at least from what we know of the oldest things, because some words in our current understanding don't line up with the words that they were in the text. For instance, when Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, he said, "Blessed are the meek." Blessed are the meek. And meek, we think of it as a word for being timid or being, something, like soft. But in the context of the Greek and Hebrew, the meek was somebody who was in control of their emotions. It's not that they didn't hurt. It's not that they didn't have pain. It's not they didn't have any of those things. It's that they were in control of themselves. And to me, that lines right up with the Stoics when Marcus Aurelius said, the only thing you can control is how you respond to the chaos of the world. That's the only thing we can truly control is how we respond. And he said things, don't waste time arguing about what being a good man is. Be one, demonstrate it. So I spent time reading ancient Mesopotamia. What was the culture of the whole world, because when Jesus was around, there was some old scrolls and stuff, but there was no Bible and stuff like that. And being close to this dude didn't do you any good. Like, it didn't do you any favors in life, outside of maybe when he made some fish or made the real good wine at the end of the party when everybody's like, why you bring out the good wine at the, you're supposed to give that at the beginning and then you give the cheap stuff once they're drunk. And it was like, well, sorry, that's just my wine's good wine. But you got to read the culture where religion was traded and shifted, like you could buy and sell it everywhere. You could buy and sell religion all over the place. So reading the culture and understanding. And for me, Jesus, I've read a lot of C.S. Lewis, and I loved the way he said in Mere Christianity that Jesus was one of three things. He was either a liar, he was either like a crazy person. He was just, out there in the desert spouting crazy things. He was either nuts, he was either the devil himself pulling the greatest trick of all time, or he was exactly what he said he was. And what he said he was, do your own homework, spend time with it, spend time, making that decision. Wherever it takes you, spend the time with it. Because don't just, when I was a kid, my mom used to say I was going to hell for all this and that, and the preacher would tell me I was a bad person and I was going to burn forever because of this, that, and the other. I think you can burn forever on earth. We've talked about it. Leaky shared some, I shared some of my own dance with kind of really darkness, suicidal ideation that was truly, truly like I was trapped in the most pain, dark I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wouldn't even wish it on the worst person in all of human history. I would not wish what I experienced right there on. So I think you can have hell here, but a lot of times it's used as a tool. It's been used throughout history as a tool to hurt people. The Crusades were full of a lot of tragedy. It's been used in, the Philippines even more recently. to kind of try and pressure people into different ways of thinking, and you end up with battles between factions on Earth. It still goes on. Religion gets used to hurt people, to box people in, to do all kinds of terrible things to people. But I think on the flip side of that, it can be used, and I've seen it used or lived, I would say, somebody's faith lived in a way that they kind of combat that other side. It's like two sides of the same coin. Yeah, dude, them, DT dreams. Oh, dude. I had nightmares for a long time about a lot of things, and I suffer nightmares almost nightly. But it's not the end of the world for me. It's just, it is what it is. You live in a military mindset for a long time, and it has an impact on you. I'm really learning that now that I can objectively look at it from a sober set of eyes, being alcohol free and stuff like that. I can look at it and realize like it had a big impact on the wiring of my brain. So anyway, let's get back to Leaky's question, then we'll get back to Thich Nhat Hanh. So for years, I feel like I had a very wrong relationship with Jesus. I was more afraid. I was scared that if I didn't act a certain way or didn't do a certain thing and didn't, do this. Dude, yes. 11 years, Jem? Stop. Let's shout out Jem, dude. Let's go. 11 years. I just hit 7. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm looking right at you right now, Jem. Right at you. I am so proud of you and so happy for you. And I bet the people around you are just so happy for the person you are now. Because it feels good. When I finally got my sleep back after stopping drinking, I was like, I'd forgotten what it felt like to sleep for a whole night. I forgot what it felt like to sleep for a whole night. And you start to get your cognition back and all these things, and it's a good feeling. So let's get back to Jesus a little bit. So I feel like I had a wrong relationship with Jesus for a long time. I came back to everything, with a different mindset, tried to really be open to a lot of stuff. It doesn't interest me at all either. I'm totally okay never living with a drop of alcohol in my life. I came back and I said, I'm going to try to forget all of the people who used Jesus and used the Bible to beat me down or try to beat me down. I'm going to try to forget all that. I'm going to try to come to these texts, the Gospels. I'm going to sit in the Gospels and I'm going to read the words that this man was saying. I'm going to vet this stuff. I'm going to try to, I don't want to say prove it wrong, but in some ways, yes, I'm going to try and prove it wrong. And I'm going to apply it to my own life. I'm going to try and apply the principles to my own life, and I'm going to see what happens. And I followed that road. And at the same time, though, I was following this Thich Nhat Hanh was a Zen Buddhist. So I was following a Zen road. I call it my Yoda road because, Yoda is legitimately a Zen Buddhist. If you listen to Yoda and you do what, kind of apply the principles Yoda's saying, the dude is so on point. He's got it figured out. And the more we do like he did, yes, Zen I am. Mindful we must be. Yoda's the G, man. Yoda's the G. So anyway, back to Jesus. So I started applying these principles, and I started really trying to apply the idea of, he would say, don't worry. I was so worried. I used to drive around in panic attacks. And I was driving a corporate car with a corporate credit card, making 6-figure money. My last year, I made $150,000 doing that job. And I was driving around shaking, resting heart rate at like 120, sweating, nightmare thoughts in my head, just going nonstop on a reel. I'm like, how do you not worry? That's all I do. What do you mean, don't worry? And he's like, today has enough problems of its own. Tomorrow will have its own problems. And if you think about the don't worry thing, and then I was reading, Thich Nhat Hanh and reading some of these ideas, and it was the ideas of presence. Even the Stoics were saying, you can only be right now, right here. That is the only place you can ever be. That was really hard for me to get over. I hope to help some people through life, get through that. I hope that I can share some of anything, to help people unlock that in themselves, because the present moment is a pretty easy place to live. It's so much better than living in nightmares about, and I'm going to be really honest with you right now for a second. And it was something with my panic attacks. I used to have these visions that I was going to hurt my own children. And I would fucking cry, dude. I would sit there and cry like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? There's got to be something broken in me that I would have this kind of a thought, or that I would have this kind of anything. There's got to be something inside me that's wrong. I've learned now that there's not. That those, oh, dude, that's so sad. Right, Leaky? I am so sorry. Leaky just shared. I had the same with my dog. And being in that place is just, it like broke me, and I was like, what is wrong? What is wrong with me? And it's because over time I had built this stuff up, it didn't happen overnight. I had let anxiety and fear and all of these emotions slowly start to creep in and slowly start to build up. And I would push them down with alcohol. I was trying to numb it down. I just didn't want to feel it. I wasn't dealing with it. And so it's like filling your house up with, junk. If you just kept all your garbage in the basement, if you didn't take it out to the street curb to get it taken care of, if you didn't put it out with the rubbish, if you left it all down in your basement and just kept throwing bags down there, just kept throwing trash down there, you might have a nice looking upstairs. You might be able to bring guests in. They'll be like, wow, what a lovely place. What's behind that door? Oh, I don't want to show you. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about that. Oh, but everything else looks great. That's our facade that we like to wear. But eventually, for me, I kept filling my basement up with garbage until it just started spilling out into the living room, into the kitchen, into the bathroom. It was in every part of my life. Oh, Jem, yes. Those intrusive thoughts. Yes. I was, my therapist told me I had something called pure OCD, which was I would latch onto an intrusive thought and wrestle with it for weeks. I would have the same intrusive thought and I would hold it and fight it, and then it became this thing. Whereas now my thoughts just come and go, like almost like on a river. I don't know if there's something I can just kind of wave out with a breath out of the head, and that's a nice thing, because I like to be present. I like to be present with all of you right now. I'm not thinking about my wife and my child at the beach. I'm not thinking about the other two kids, what they're doing. I'm not even thinking about the interview that I'm going to be doing later on with that movie. It's just be present. It is, and it's hard. It's hard to fight the thoughts. You are so right. That's such a big thing. It's hard to fight the thoughts. Primarily, I think, because we grab them. It's finding this way to not even wrestle with the thought. The thoughts have this ability to become real when we latch onto them and want to say them, you are something tangible. The thought doesn't become real until we actually let go of it. And there are ways, like Leaky says, he fights them with truths in the Bible. And I think that's a great way for a lot of people. But I think for me, it's getting to a place where you don't even have to fight it, where you see the thought in its true nature as being nothing, an intangible, until we start to box, until we start to fight it and say this. Now, both things can be totally possible and both things can be totally true. When I get caught up in any kind of thinking that I find is troublesome or anything like that, then I'll, maybe go to some text, go to my Bible, go to a book, go to a learning, or just sit quietly and meditate. There's a lot of options, but those intrusive thoughts are such a hard thing for all of us right now. And I think our culture is kind of feeding that, the idea of the slot machine in our pocket, and that we can just pull down on a social media, and we're getting inundated with information at a rate that is really hard to process. And the thing is, though, is that our brains are the most phenomenal thing that we've ever truly discovered on this planet. It's unreal, the stuff going on. The fact that we have atoms inside of us and nuclear power inside of us, and we don't even fully understand subatomic things yet. There's so much cool there. But our brain does take everything in. And we did get off track. Okay. We did get off track a little bit. So, anyway, yes, I have a good relationship with Jesus. I would say that now. A healthy, and I think that if you explore it, in a good way, you can find the good stuff there. But let's get into the book. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm good at getting sidetracked too. And with Leaky, I don't know if I've shared this, since you're kind of new, and maybe I should put it up in my description or something somewhere. But 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, we're actually coming up on the day. It'll be I think it was the 29th of August when I got my diagnosis, but I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so the book was also a big chunk of that because I saw it as kind of a gift, the multiple sclerosis in a way, because it allowed me to demonstrate a lot of the things that are in the book in a very real way. So silver lining, crazy stuff. But with the MS, my cognition, they call it cog fog is what we call it in the MS world, is I can get sidetracked, I can get kind of off track a little bit, but yeah, I should put that in there so maybe people will be a little more patient with my rambling. So let's get into reconciling from a distance. Let me get a sip of water first, my throat is dry. Okay, reconciling from a distance. Even if the person with whom you need to reconcile is very far away, you can still do the work of reconciliation now. What is important is to reconcile within your own heart and mind. If reconciliation is done within, that is enough, because the effect of that reconciliation will be felt everywhere later on. Even if the person you want to reconcile with refuses to respond. So these are these people like, I want to make amends with you. I want chemo brain. I like that. Thanks, Kev. Kev says we love your rambling. Kevin's a great dude, man. You guys are all great on here, though. This has been wonderful. This has truly been wonderful, and what I'm hoping to do with this stuff moving forward. So I think we've all been in those situations, when we have somebody we want to make something right with. Like, we did something messed up. We did something that we know was wrong, and we want to make it right, but they're like, look, I'm not giving you the time of day to make that right. It's hard. At least for me, it's really hard. So even if they don't, or they refuse to respond, or even if she's already dead, reconciliation is still possible. Reconciliation means to work it out within yourself so that peace can be restored. Reconcile within yourself for the sake of the world, for the sake of all living beings. Your peace and serenity are crucial for all of us. And I think that is so true. It is hard to be a person like Thich Nhat Hanh. It is hard to replicate someone like Jesus if inside we have turmoil. Picture, envision if you can, the self, the whole self, your whole self as a garden. If you've ever spent time outside, if you've ever spent time with your hands in the dirt, if you haven't, I encourage you to find a way. Find a community garden. Find a way to go just put your bare feet and your hands in the dirt. It's really good for us. But consider the whole self like a garden. If the self is full of thorns, this is actually a Jesus parable right here. He said, it's like seeds thrown around on the ground. Some seeds land where the birds eat it up. Other seeds land where the thorns choke the bushes out. Other seeds land, they sprout up really quick, but they didn't take the time to get the good roots. You have to take the time to have good foundational roots. They didn't take the time for that, but the other seed landed on good soil, and the good soil sprouted a bounty, so much bigger than a tiny little seed. It's a great analogy. Because seeds are so small, but one seed can sprout a whole apple tree that could feed a whole village of people with good fruit. You got to make sure your soil is good. We have to do the tending on the inside in order to make sure our soil is good. And my soil was bad for a long time. I carried around a lot of bitterness. I carried around a lot of anger about my past. There was a lot of generational trauma that I took the time to try and unwind and deal with. There's stuff that I'm still trying to unwind a little bit, but I feel like I'm moving in a good direction as my own personal kind of gardener. But if our garden is full of weeds and thorns and thistles and rot, if we don't do something with that, if we don't process that, if we don't unwind those things, we can't be a vehicle of true peace to give to others. We can't be a vehicle of true love, because that thorns and thistles are weighing us down. All of the rot in there. Now the good news is that you can take all the funk that's already there, and some of us have a lot of it. I had a lot of funk inside of me. You can take all of that funk and use it. You can compost it. You can, it'll take some time. You're going to have to cut some of it out. Some of it you have to dig out by the root. If you don't dig it out by the root, it's just going to grow right back. You really have to get it out of there. And then you compost it. And then you take that compost and you use it in your new soil, fresh soil that's not overrun by things. Maybe you add some new stuff to the compost. It's not just the thistles. You're adding the component of peace, of mindfulness, of presence that you now have as you're learning on your journey, wherever you might go. Now you make this stuff that can be used. It can be used in the soil. You're not getting rid of it, but you've now changed it into something else. And out of that soil, now you can choose what seeds you want to plant. And through practice and whatever it might take, you can slowly watch those seeds grow into a garden that you want to hang out in, that wildlife wants to hang out in, a place of peace that other people want to hang out in, because we give off some kind of energy. All of us do, most of the time. Even if it's a very stoic energy, like I'm reserved, I've got this little bit of a wall up, that's an energy. We can give off very negative energy. I think we've been in a room before where somebody comes in who's super mad at the world. I love that saying, Kevin, from rot to fertilizer. That might be chamber 8, man. That might be chamber 8. But I think that's what Thich Nhat Hanh was getting at here. Reconciliation with yourself for the sake of the world, for the sake of all living beings. Because when you're more peaceful, you're putting more peace out into the world. But it's just a byproduct, just being you. When you're more loving, you're putting more love out into the world. You're not putting more anger out. We're not putting more anger out. And that's not to say more thistles and weeds won't grow, but you'll be better able to identify them. And instead of one, or instead of a whole garden full, it's just one, and you're like, oh, we got to just pull that out real quick. The roots aren't even strong yet in that thistle. You can just yank it out. Okay, yep, we'll put that in the compost pile, and that's good. All right. I feel like I've been going for a little bit. I don't know how long I've been going, but now we're actually going to get into the chamber stuff. We're going to get into chamber work. And we're going to go chamber 3. We've done 1 and 2. I will go through, I'll just read the highlights of those or the titles of those if you're interested. Stay hydrated, not dehydrated. And yeah, this is the one I've been writing in. Look, from page 1, I had a mess up, a screw up. And that's okay. Just fail forward. Don't give up on it. Be like, oh, I suck. I don't want to do it anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Just be like, yeah, I made a mistake. Let's move on. Get a better editor next time. I mean, I don't think it was the editor, though. It was the formatting. It was when I put the table of contents in. So, and I'm going to go real quick, just the first sentence on all the guidance on chamber living. So this is about, how to use this book, essentially. I love the yap. Ah, nice. Chamber 3 was when I joined. Sick. I would love to get like an actual little chamber, like an app that I could make. Find somebody who's good with that stuff and do one. Because I have a plan to continue like education and stuff like that and try and help people along the way. But the execution, I still got to put some pieces into place. Okay, so chamber living. Each chamber should be approached individually and in numerical order. And all of these are expanded upon, but I'm just going to read the first sentences for now. Each chamber should be approached as fluid and not an end-all be-all. That is super important. Super important. This is organic. It's not, it's not dogmatic. It's not rigid. It's not super rigid. Each chamber was designed to be concise with no extra padding outside of what is absolutely essential for growth and development. 4, the chambers are not intended to be moved through quickly. I will say that I kind of been working on myself as far as this stuff is concerned for probably the last 5 to 6 years. I think there's always been a part of me that's, been itching at that. There's got to be something more to life. Like there's got to be some sort of contentment, because I tried to fill it with everything: sex, drugs, rock and roll. One day I'm probably going to write write a book, because I've had a couple people that I've told a few of my tales to, and I might do Legends of a Drunken Sailor or Myths of a Drunken or something like that, because I've had some wild rides in this life so far, but I've never been more contented, more happy, I would say more consistently happy, because it's not about being happy all the time. It's about knowing, I think, what to do with the unhappy, and knowing that unhappy is part of the happy, or is part of just the universe. It's the way it goes. But yeah, I might do that book at some point. Yeah. Yes, I do talk about Jesus. I do, and but I try to do it, and I try to let. It's hard. We'll get there. We'll talk, Leaky. We'll talk. But yeah, we'll get there. It's more. I like to talk about Jesus more one-on-one if I can, because I think no, it's okay, dude, it's okay to talk, but I think at least in the States over here, so much that has been used to hurt people, like this almost like aggressive, and it's like the approach when Jesus approached people, in the Bible, the Samaritan woman and all these people, where he was trying to, it's not to say he wasn't aggressive at times. He gets flipping tables and stuff over, don't make my father's house this, don't be selling religion everywhere. But it's always a very soft and compassionate kind of approach. But he was very limited on time as well. He had 3 years to do his thing. Whereas for me, it's like I get a little more, and being a tattoo artist, I do get a lot of good one-on-one time with people. And yeah, it was, yeah, it's cool. So anyway, let's get to part 5. So be patient and gentle with yourself as you work through each chamber. And I think that's anything in life. Be patient and gentle with yourself as you move through anything. It's, I like your excitement. You don't got to calm down, and I hope this becomes a place where we can, there might be somebody listening or watching right now. It's like, oh man, Jesus is not for me. And we can have those discussions in an open and honest way, and maybe have a dedicated chant or a dedicated time. Like this is the time we're going to have a more theological talk, because a lot of what I want to do is going to be this stuff on here, because I do believe that this can be a good starting point and applied to anyone. And I actually have some biblical references throughout the chamber work that, stuff that I think was very supporting of what I was trying to convey at the time. But I also have references from the Buddha and other things. I think it's more just, supporting facts. I got Bruce Lee supporting stuff and Jim Henson and other people. But yeah, I think as this continues to grow, hopefully, people won't get upset about it, and I am going to do my best to set the tone. I feel like it's on me to sit in front of this camera and create peace. I won't sit here and get, hyper worked up and everything. We won't get into crazy conversations. That's not saying I can't get worked up. That's not saying I can't get into crazy conversations. But for everyone who might just pass by the stream or something like that, I want them to feel welcome. I want them to feel comfortable, and I want them to be like, yo, this dude truly is like vibing. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying. It's amazing. The more ordinary I feel I become, the more people are like, wow, your energy. And it's just, I feel like I'm just trying to be right where I'm at most of the time, if not all the time. Okay, so number 6, if possible, invite someone else to join you on this journey. An accountability buddy. I like that word, accountability buddy. Rest in power. Kyle Sutton, one of my greatest mentors of all time, dude. Died in a motorcycle accident. Was buried at sea. One of the greatest sailors I had ever known. Dude was a straight G. Taught me a lot about life in the world. So rest in peace, my buddy. But he taught me accountability buddy. I love that. I love that that term. Genuine equals magnetic. Thanks. I agree. And the more I think the more we can be open and genuine, then I think the more it is for others to let their guard down and be like, hey, man, let's just take a breath together. Let's relax together. So an accountability buddy of sorts. This is someone who is hopefully either wanting to accomplish the same type of things as you are. I encourage everyone to get a mentor who has accomplished some of the things that you want to accomplish. Find someone who you can, lean on and ask and be open with. But this person who is going to be your accountability buddy, you want that. They need to be honest. They need to be honest and they need to be consistent. They can be a flake. You don't want to bring somebody with you who maybe isn't, doesn't even want to accomplish the things, or somebody who isn't consistent with you. And even if it's only, hey, we're going to talk, would you check in on me once a week and just ask me how I'm doing on this? And, I'm going to be honest with you, because that's big. If you don't show up, why do you expect someone else to show up? For real. If you don't show up to do the work, why would you expect anyone else to show up? Because they can't do the work for you. No one else can do it for you, but they can help you. And that's what we can do. We can all help each other. They can do that. We can do that for each other, but they can't do it. So you have to show up first, and then you find somebody who's going to show up for you and with you, because it is much easier to do it with somebody else. And your circle, look at your circle of influence. They say, I don't know who they are, I don't remember where the data came from, some data I was reading at some point, but that for the most part, most of us are an amalgamation of the 5 people we keep closest to us. So look at your 5 closest people to you, the people you see the most, you interact with the most, you text the most. Look at those 5 people. Ask yourself, be honest. Are these people bringing me up, or are they bringing me down? That's not to say you got to just start cutting people out of your life out of nowhere. But you have to determine, if I'm going to change, if I'm going to make real change in my life, is this person going to support me? And you can have that conversation with everyone close to you. I know it's hard. I do know it's hard, but you can have that conversation. I'm trying to make this change in my life. Do you support me doing this? And, be honest about it. Because there was a couple relationships I had in my life when I quit drinking that's all the relationship was based on. The whole relationship was just based on getting hammered. And I'm not mad about those times. It was a cool relationship while it was its relationship. But once I was moving in a different direction, it's like, I can't keep my foot in that. Like, I can't walk while keeping my foot in one door. I'd be stuck there. I'd be stuck in that spot, and my mental health, my well-being, to me, wanting to be there for my children. Like, the very beginning of this book says, for Madison, Logan, and Annabelle, for giving me the greatest love of all. I wanted to be there for them and be an example for them. I wanted those things, but I couldn't keep a foot in one door and try to walk a new path. I couldn't walk anywhere. I'd just be sitting there with my foot in the door, like, man, I'm stuck in the door. Who knows? All right, number 7, then we're going to get into chamber 3. Remind yourself often why you initially embarked on this journey. Change is hard. It is uncomfortable. I shouldn't say hard, but uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Always. Even think about if you've ever exercised, especially my people who really lift, like my Lukes of the world. And dude, I have not, but that's awesome. He rode 18,000 nautical miles in a canoe across 3. Shoot, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Change is uncomfortable. At the gym, if you've ever worked out, you're like, I want to see muscular growth. You have to rip your muscles. You have to cause tiny little micro tears that open up, and then your new muscle can grow back bigger. But it's painful. you're sore the next day. If you push it too hard, you have to responsibly change. Don't try and change everything at once. There is a story, it might be in chapter 3 or chamber 3, I don't know, but I know there's a story in the book of where I pushed myself. I will for sure. I'll look them up on Instagram. There's a story of when I pushed myself in the gym when I was in the military with a buddy of mine who was much more advanced than me. This dude was jacked. I mean, big, great guy, gave the best bear hugs. But Walton, if you out there, respect, dude. I love you. I hope everything's going good for you and yours, my mans. But I went to the gym with him, and we must have pushed weights for like 2 hours. I mean, just like, bro, it was all triceps, overhead presses, bro, everything you can do for your tricep, bro, for like an hour and a half. I get home later. I'm okay for like the night. I'm sore. Everything hurts so bad. I get up the next day. I'm sore. Everything's so bad. And then all of a sudden, my whole right side of my body starts going numb. I had damaged my muscles to the point of rhabdomyolysis. Like car accident level trauma is what I had done working out. My blood started going toxic. My kidneys were all jacked up. I was in the hospital for a couple days. My one arm is smaller than the other arm now, and it'll never go back. I don't think the other way because of the damage that I did to the muscle and stuff like that. Change responsibly. Don't try and lose 200 pounds at once. Get in the habit of, I'm going to put on my walking shoes. Do that for 2 weeks. You don't even have to walk. Get in the habit of small things, you know, and then the next 2 weeks, and all this stuff's in the book. And then the next 2 weeks, you know, you add, I'm going to put on my walking shoes and I'm going to walk to the mailbox and I'm going to walk back. And that's it. That's all you got to do for 2 weeks. You don't even got to change your eating habits yet. Don't try and do it all at once. When we try and do it all at once, we fail. It's impossible. It's trying to build a pyramid upside down. It doesn't work. If you started with the top one, the big goal, you know, that's your big goal. If you started with the top one and tried to build this way, the pyramid would just collapse on itself under its own weight. Just start with little things, little manageable things, and anything is accomplishable. So remind yourself often, you know, though. Remind yourself why you went on this journey and be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself about the whole journey. All right, let's get into chamber 3. For those of you who weren't here for the first 2 chambers, let's read the chamber titles. So each chamber originally started as just these like first couple sentences. That's each chamber. That's what I had up on the wall in the tattoo booth. And then I have 2 quotes from 2 different people. So I'm just going to read the chamber, read the quotes, and then we'll actually get into reading the full of chamber 3. All right, chamber 1. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. The most valuable resource we have is our time. We must see its full value to be its master. Waste not in all things. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. Bruce Lee. One of the GOATs, dude. One of the GOATs. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. So that's what chamber 1's all about right there. And it expands upon that. Oh, dude, though, Leaky, actually, I have some information in here from, there was a woman I discovered while I was doing research, Bonnie Ware, and she was actually an Australian palliative nurse and author, Bonnie Ware. I got a lot of good information from her, looking into her research and stuff that she had done helping people with end-of-life care. Okay, chamber 2, breathe. Oh yeah, I love Ryan Holiday, dude. I love Ryan Holiday. He's great. You know, he's a modern stoic. So chamber 2, breathe. This may be the most important skill of all. We are always doing it. Use it as a tool to feed the body. Remove it for a few moments and quickly learn its importance. Becoming masters of our breathing. When I say masters, it's not like some crazy big unaccomplishable thing. I'm talking about just pay attention to what we're already doing. Just pay attention. Okay, this is a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again. It is amazing what a breath can do to pull us out of things, to slow us down in the face of anger. It is amazing what one breath can do. And then this quote is from James Nestor. The perfect breath is this: breathe in for about 5.5 seconds, then exhale for 5.5 seconds. That's 5.5 breaths a minute for about a total of about 5.5 liters of air. And he is the author of the word breath, the book Breath, which was a game changer for me. And all of Chamber 2 is about breathing. And I got notes in here about some more examples, and then actually a little breathing worksheet that I'm going to put together so that people could print it out, have something a little easier available. Okay, so now let's get into Chamber 3. Chamber 3, and I've got my pencil out, so I have to stop here or there. Just please bear with me, because I'm taking notes as I go to make sure that I can adjust everything in the file. Sometimes it is, okay, let's see what Leagy's got to say. Sometimes it is not about the good you do. Sometimes it is about the bad you don't do. Dude, I love that. Don't even try to do good. Just try to do harm less. Oh, dude, yes. There's so much. Right. Like a byproduct of trying to do, of being patient, like trying not to, actively saying, I'm going to take one breath before I respond to this person. A byproduct of that would be good, like something positive would be coming out of that. A conscious decision, like I'm trying to, I love that. I like it. Okay, so Chamber 3, few lines tell a good story. Resist clutter. That's the chamber. Few lines tell a good story. Resist clutter. This is a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, arguably one of the greatest rulers Rome ever saw. I've read a lot of stuff about him. I've read his writings. He has been a very influential teacher. The fact that his writings and teachings still prove to be so accurate in so many thousands of years later is it's pretty awesome. So here we go. Do external things distract you? Then make time for yourself to learn something worthwhile. Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions. But make sure you guard against the other kind of confusion. People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse toward are wasting their time, even when hard at work. That is a lot to unpack, but it is so true. I mean, it's stuff that I keep trying to do in my own life, because I feel for so often I kept myself busy, but I don't know if I was ever working towards what truly I felt inside me I should be doing. And I think Socrates said something along the lines of, the unexamined life isn't really worth living. Know yourself. Know yourself. Do the work to dig in and figure out who you are. Like, who are you? Do the work to figure that out. Because if not, it's easy to get caught up in external validation. That was me. I was a success hound in so many ways. I wanted to be the best at everything I did all the time, but it would always come up empty. Those successes for some reason always felt empty, or it'd feel good for a minute, but then it was like I needed the next hit of success. I needed the next ribbon on my uniform. I needed the next trophy or something like that at the company function, whatever it might have been. I needed to give the appearance of everything is perfect all the time, and I'm this super successful dude, and all this stuff is going great in life. But it always came up empty. It never really filled that hole. And then I needed more and more. It was like, it was success addiction. I was addicted to and buying things for a long time. I was addicted. I can look back and say, you know, a lot of my worth was attached to the material things that I had behind me. And this is just a small section of what I had. For so long, I was just spending thousands of dollars, tens of thousands on collectibles and things. I had a whole basement, an entire basement that was just wall to wall, everything. So you want to watch Star Wars on Super 8? I had it. The one they sent to the theater in black and white to see if you wanted to watch Star Wars. Statues, I mean, all kinds of stuff. It was everywhere, just thousands and thousands. Over 5,000 comic books when I sold my lot off. I think I had about 5,500 to 6,000 comics when I sold my lot. And this is all that's really left. And this stuff brings me joy, but I'm totally okay. If it was to all go away, yeah, dude, the Batman collection was huge. I sold one of those. You know, I made out good, though. I will say it allowed me to tattoo. I sold my collection, and it allowed me to make that transition into tattooing because I sold one Batman the Animated Series Scarecrow for, I think, $700 or $800 to a dude in Ireland. We had to FaceTime. He was like, "You're a real guy with the real thing, right?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I got it. It's cool." But yeah, that collection down there was nuts. And I don't have anything against collecting. Love collect your things that you enjoy. But I think for me, it was about, severing the relationship I had with collecting and then coming back to it. Like if all this stuff went away today, I'd be totally fine. I wouldn't be, there'd be no part of me that's like, "Oh no, all my stuff is gone." I'd be like, but while I have it, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. Just redefine your relationship. Okay, and then the next one is from Greg McCowan, who wrote this book called Essentialism that really changed my life. There's been a few books that have really changed my life over the years, and that's one of them. And I think I have 77 suggested readings in the back of this, but I wouldn't, I even write in there, like I wouldn't expect somebody to read all 77 of these things. Like pick a few that truly interest you. Like pick one that interests you, one that you're a little unfamiliar with, and one that's something, Just take a couple and carve out some time for yourself to read. But he said, in the age of distraction, single tasking is like a superpower. And that comes back to just presence, just being present, in the moment. You can be fully doing something, not I'm thinking about this while trying to do this, or I'm thinking about this while listening to a podcast in my earbuds. And I'm not saying that's always bad or anything like that, but it's just do it. If you're outside, just cut the grass. Don't worry about what you got to do next. Look at the grass. If you're listening to music or, like I said, or a podcast or some stuff, that's great. Like, I'm not saying that kind of stuff. But just look at the grass. Think about the grass. Think about all the bugs that live under the earth. Think about the tree that you're over there. How old was that tree? I don't know. But just try to be in your environment right where you are and just take it in. You probably find a lot of enjoyment there. But even in working, though, I think is where, Essentialism, where Greg's is a business book. And Essentialism comes from the power of focus. The power of laying out tasks in a way and accomplishing the one before you move on to the next one. You break your big goal down into little things. What is essential to make this happen? What is essential? What is the one thing that has to work for this to happen? Focus on that. Then you go to the next essential, then the next essential. You can only have one priority. If you've got 10 priorities, that's like 10 fires that you're trying to chase all over the place, even if they're in your mind. Oh man, we got to get this debt paid off because I owe so much. And I could talk for hours about owing a lot of people a lot of money, which thankfully I'm not in that place anymore. But, I got to get all this paid off. Oh man, I'm worried about the kids' school thing coming up. Crap, we got the family coming over next weekend. When you got all these different things going on, it becomes chaotic and it's hard to get any one thing accomplished. But if you break them down and say, okay, these are the things that I need to get done. What is essential? What is the essential next step to make this happen? Identify that, put it in place, boom, you're golden. I don't want to say you're golden, but hopefully you're moving a little bit more in the right direction. All right, so chamber evidence. And for those of you who might not be aware, chamber evidence is, what I think is supporting facts, evidence that supports the idea that maybe resisting clutter. Oh, my mother, hello, how are you? I love you too. My mom's the greatest. Love your parents, be cool with them. Okay, so chamber evidence. According to the Yale Daily News, so this came from the Yale Daily News. I like to think that they're a reputable, somewhat reputable source. In 2024, internet users spent an average of nearly 7 hours a day online. Those studies have linked excessive screen use to declining attention, sleep disturbances, and increased feelings of loneliness. Cutting back on screen time remains difficult for some. They're good. And I'm not here to demonize social media. I'm not here to demonize the internet. I'm using it right now as a tool to try and share things. But to me, in my opinion, they have just fine-tuned the algorithm so good, so well, that it becomes so easy to lose 7 hours. You know, I don't ever fault someone for getting addicted to something that was designed to be very addictive and manipulative. How can you fault someone for that? I personally went through a process of breaking up with my phone because I spent a lot of time. It was way more than 7 hours a day on my phone. And it took about 6 months, I would say 6 months, when I bricked my phone. I got this minimizer app and I just totally bricked it. And today I still don't have notifications on my phone. There are a few people who, if they text me or call me, it'll ring through, you know. I set it up in a way to where if I feel like, okay, this person really needs to get a hold of me, my wife, other people, my kids, stuff like that, I want to make sure that I get those messages, but I don't have the notifications and stuff now. Because Chamber 1 is all about pay yourself first, and the most valuable resource we have is our time. I needed time back if I was going to accomplish my goals. I needed to get time back in one way or another. And I looked at my time. I did the evaluation in the back of the book. There's the worksheets and stuff. I mapped out my time. How do I use all my time every single day? What do I do with my hours? And I set up screen time on my phone, and I was like, oh, I'm using a lot of time in this space, and if I want time back, I'm going to have to. That's the first one. That seems most logical because I wasn't gaining anything there. A lot of times I was just gaining stress. When I was, by the time I was done with a doom scroll or something like that, the only thing I had left was like some stress or some fear about something, or waking up to the realization, like, I've been sitting here for an hour and a half, like, some bell goes off or somebody shows up from work or something like that, or school. It's like, whoa, where did the time go? And so that for me was the first thing to go, primarily because I wasn't making any gains there. And life is really short. I think if you ever have a close brush with death in any way, it really opens your eyes to the shortness and the brevity of time. And I want to use mine to try and help some people and do some cool things if I can. So let's continue on. The math would equate to roughly 2,555 hours a year spent online. So we're just continuing this 7 hours a day. We're just, doing the math. Taking the equation one step further, you would land at approximately 106 days spent online in a given year. That is a lot. That is a lot. You would land at approximately 106 days spent online in a given year. Think about what you could do with 106 days. You could change the world with 106 days. And I'm not saying don't be online. I actually encouraged somebody the other day. They're like, man, we've been having these conversations and they want to have a little bit of a better relationship with their social media. And I let him know, and I encouraged him. I said, carve out time during the day. Carve out. If at first it's an hour, but set aside the time and say, for this next hour, I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna doom scroll. I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. Set aside the time. Asher, come here, boy. Hey, it's okay. Oh no, don't step on my records. That's my fault though for putting the records on the ground. Don't step on my records. But set the time aside. Give me just 1 second. I'm just going to pick these up so he doesn't step on them. Hey, no. Stop barking. Unless the family's back home, which would be nice. Even my neighbor already said, he was like, yo, your dog be barking, huh? It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's a barker. My apologies. But that's kind of what you want your dog to do when strangers are walking by. I mean, we lived in the country for so long. Okay, so 106 days is what you would lose in a given year if you were to spend the average of 7 hours a day online. Now, some things online are totally beneficial, dude. Like right now, I've probably been online for like a couple hours. I don't know how many. But I think it is a great tool. It's a great tool, but it's also, we have to have a healthy relationship with it. We have to have a healthy relationship with it. And are we using it for, benefit? I probably, there's going to come a time where I'm going to be online for, 4 hours at a time, maybe 5, who knows? But it'll be a different way of online. And I hope that what I am contributing to the online universe is something beneficial. I hope that I'm putting something positive out there to combat, because there's so, like I said with anger, if I meet anger with anger, then there's just more anger. If you meet anger with kindness, it might be a little bit of a wash. So on the internet, maybe if you meet some slob that's just doesn't have a lot of real good value with something that maybe has a little inherent value to even 1 or 2 people, then, maybe it's a little bit of a wash. You're adding something positive to the pot. Who knows? So over a 10-year period, that would result in almost 3 years worth of time spent in the digital space. Now that math could go on and on. So over the course of 10 years, that could result in almost 3 years. And that's not saying the digital space is a bad thing. That's just saying, what are we putting into it? What are we trying to do with it? Now, before you start with, I have to be online for work, I'm not here to say that all online time is equal. Many of us have no choice but to sit in front of a screen for work or school in our daily lives. In fact, I see the internet as the greatest tool for personal development growth, maybe of all time. Phrasing's a little funny. I might need to change that. Let's put a little star right here, just in case star. Reread the sentence a couple times. There is nothing unknown in today's world, and knowledge is ripe for the learning. That is one of the cool things about the internet. Information's not hidden anymore. If you wanted to educate yourself on almost any subject matter, it is available. If you wanted growth on almost any subject matter, it is available. There's, if you just want any subject matter on anything, if you just want to learn a little bit of history, it's all there. It's all available. We have information at our fingertips like we've never had before. The other side of the digital age coin seems to have become a portable dopamine feedback loop that uses advanced technology to keep us engaged for as long as possible. While it preys on human psychology in an attempt to keep the revenue machine running as efficiently as possible, I believe that firmly. Like all things in life, we must seek to find a healthy balance. That's everything. Find a healthy balance in life. If you can find that, I think you're going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. It's more looking at the self and being honest and saying, is this healthy? Is this who I want to be right now? Is this moving me towards something that in my heart I know I want to try and do? Or is it, hindering me while making a bunch of other people rich? Because if you're not paying for it, then we are the product. If we don't pay for Facebook, then we are the product that's getting bought. And I think we all know that at this point. Same thing with all of them. Like, if we don't pay for it, we are the product in a lot of ways. However, it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's inherently bad. There's so much good going on there, too. Like, all the social media platforms have some really great strengths. I read an article that said they might bring MySpace back, and I'm like, bro, bet. Let's go. I'll be one of the first ones on MySpace. Putting my HTML code in, getting that music. Gonna sing on MySpace. All right. So, we live in a cluttered world. Material clutter is one thing. Things we rarely, if ever, use and to which we attach a great emotional connection. Trinkets that have the power to destroy us if lost or missing. Homes overflowing with goods and products. Porches met daily with multiple packages. Storage units stuffed to the brim with products. Collections kept in pristine condition, always on display, and a desire for more that is rarely satiated. In a world of unending material excess, mental clutter seems to be becoming increasingly present as well, creating a never-ending battle for our mental faculties. Combine the physical and mental clutter, and we have the ingredients for a nasty little cocktail on our hands. We are pulled in all directions incessantly with buy this or believe that, with very little time for objective reflection. Before we can process one input, we are scrolling on to the next sale item. I think that is so true of our present time. I'm not here to tell you I don't believe in self-diagnosis. I spent about a decade in the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm not a big fan of all the self-diagnosis we have. I'm not saying that a lot of diagnoses aren't a real thing. I've been diagnosed with a lot of things. I see a huge prevalence, it seems, just in conversation, just in general conversation, and I am not here to diagnose anybody or say, yes, you have this, no, you don't have that. I don't do that because that's not my, that's not my field. But there seems to be this uptick in, my observation is based on, the ads I see that on TV, the conversations, again, that I have of ADHD. I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. I think that's a very real thing. I think attention deficit disorder is a very real thing. However, Asher Dean, will you leave those poor people alone? I'm gonna lock you in here with me. So that way you can't be harassing the neighborhood. But then I go take him for a walk and he's super nice to everybody. Asher! Anyway. Where was I? Cog fog. Oh yes, our overwhelming amount of things happening and ADHD, depression medications. I keep seeing this new one that it's like if your medication isn't working and you're getting tardive dyskinesia, which is some kind of shake or tremor based on your medication, here's another medication in order to stop the shake and the tremor. Which again, I'm not here to bash anything or say this is right or this is wrong. That is not my place or my field. However, the rate at which we're taking in information in today's age is wild, and I think it's like, oh, I can't slow my mind down. Well, if we spend an hour or 7 hours, however many hours we spend in any sort of a roulette scroll format, any sort of I can pull down on this and it'll refresh. That feeds that dopamine feedback loop in the brain. Any one of those that really kind of triggers that when you're getting into that sort of stuff. We're taking on information at a rate that we never have in human history. And whether the information is true, whether the information is false, whether the information is negative, whether the information is positive, whether we take the time to stop and say, did I vet this? Did I take the time to say, okay, somebody presented the information that so-and-so is a horrible piece of crap because of A, B, or C? Because 9 times out of 10 on social media, the negativity gets, it just gets more clicks. It's just, and it's always been that way. Newspaper days, the sensationalized is always going to get a lot more love than the not. But rarely do we take the time to stop and say, hey, is this, facts? Is it opinion? Is this coming from a blog? Is it coming from the Wall Street Journal? Is it Is it even real anymore? Is it AI? Is this a whole pretend video? Is this a whole pretend music? Is this pretend song, pretend singer, pretend actress? You know, you read the Tilly Norwood stuff, I think her name is. I don't know if she's made any movies yet, but you know, it's we live in this world where, and if you were to spend, he's wild. If you spend an hour in that space, or even jump in between one or two or three of those spaces, your subconscious is taking on information. It holds on to information. Our subconscious, I don't like saying you, like I'm not a part of you, me, you, totally the same, 100% the same. But our subconscious, they grab onto any information we take in. And then we go down to lay our head at night, and our mind is like, or we're trying to accomplish tasks, and our mind goes, it can't slow down. Because for however many hours we sat with, and then we start going back to the roulette wheel because the dopamine hit is there. Too many times we've got hit with something that excites us or makes us feel good. So now there's the Pavlov's dog compulsion towards it, And so I'm not here to say these things are not great tools. They can be used in the most awesome of ways, but we all need to take the time, look at our relationship with our phone, with our social media, with all that. If I can ever get this stuff big enough to where I don't really have to do a lot on my phone, I'm going straight to a landline. I was going to sit right over here with an answering machine and not have my phone with me. Because I would like to be able to go back to the internet. I liked the world where, you had to go to the internet and then you got up and you could leave the internet. And that was cool. I might just get a little pocket camera, something I can carry around, because that's what I use my phone for most of the time anyway. But, again, not bad, not demonizing phones, not saying anybody shouldn't have a phone and have social media. It's an amazing tool for a lot of cool things. Let's just take the time to really look at how we use our relationship with it. There's even those people I know, like Facebook Marketplace. They addicted to it. Like, gotta be, what's that next deal? I need that next deal, because the deals feel so good. Facebook Marketplace, from an engine to pallet wood. Facebook Marketplace. Buy anything. Okay, let's continue on. Oh, look at that. I even say it in the next sentence. I am not here to demonize the internet or social media. Rather, I present the idea that maybe it can be very addictive and distracting. And it is feasible that a lot of us have an unhealthy relationship with our technology. We cannot and should not fault ourselves for getting hooked on something that is very easy to get hooked on. Be kind to yourself. That's totally okay. You can be cool to yourself, man. You can be fine, show a little empathy towards yourself. Think about it in this way. If you had a friend who just went through something terrible, their dog died, which for me is always one of the most tragic things that can happen, is losing a dog, dude. But they lost their pet that they had loved forever. How would you be towards that person? I doubt you'd be like, toughen up, get over it, You'd probably be really understanding and empathetic. I hope so. I hope you'd be understanding and empathetic if that was your peoples, if that was your friends, your homie, your homegirl, whoever. I hope you'd be understanding. Be understanding towards yourself. That's okay. It's totally okay to be understanding towards yourself. And you can be compassionate towards yourself, Like, man, I know you're hurting. I'm sorry. You can do that towards yourself. It's a weird thing to say, and it takes time and practice, but I think it's a great tool to be able to use, when you're trying to unwind some stuff. But where were we? So, we can rationalize every way we want, but the truth remains. We are more distracted than possibly any other time in human history. Attention spans are shrinking. I believe that through concentrated effort, it is possible to navigate today's distracted world with a clear and focused mind. It is being honest with ourselves and cutting out those things in our lives that hinder us from reaching the life we desire to live. It's detoxing if we need to be Oh, wait, it's detoxing. Oh, wait, okay, I added a word there. It's detoxing if need be and setting new relationship boundaries at a later time. I think I took. Awesome, dude. I appreciate that, Nick. I appreciate it. That's what I'm thinking, dude. It's going to be Sunday mornings when I get a schedule started. I think it's going to be Sunday mornings. Because a lot of people have, some Sunday morning time, and we can all gather at the manor and talk and chat and be cool and chill and relaxed and help each other out. So, if detoxing, which I want to say I did for about a year with all my social media, I just shut them all down. I was like, I gotta break up with you a lot. Like, this can't be a little. I can't be tempted by you. Like, your sweet, sweet aroma of little heart emojis and little likes and I can't be tempted. So I had to break up with it for about a year. You might not be as bad as I was with it. Who knows? But I think some of us, it's just easy, man. It's an easy thing to get addicted to. So it's detoxing if need be, setting the new boundaries, and coming back at a later time. Lastly, moving toward a distraction-free living is not about restriction. That's important. It's not about restriction, That's not what any of this is about. But about being free to pursue and accomplish the goals and desires we have for ourselves and those we care about. If you have that dream with your partner, your significant other, whoever, like, man, wouldn't it be great if we get that house in the country? If you have that, go towards that. But it's hard to move towards your dreams if you're distracted. It's hard, and these distractions have a way of just getting their claws in us and just grabbing on, like holding tight. They have a way of locking us in. And I'm not saying don't have them. I set aside time all in my day. It is built into my day. You know what I mean? For video games, to watch a movie, to do the stuff I want to do. But for the past 5, 6, I don't know how many years, I've also been trying to work towards exactly where I'm at right now. It was a dream I had a long time ago that was really hard. It was really hard watching my daughter scream and cry, dude. Every time I left for 5 years to come down here to work and to tattoo. No, don't go down. Oh, it broke my soul. But I had a dream. I was like, this is moving towards it. Even if and I took the distractions out. I was like, I can't. There's no way I will be able to get there as quickly as I would like to get there if I only have a couple hours a day to do it. It would take, I'd still be probably doing little traditional tattoos right now, nervous as all get out, handshaking and stuff, because I knew I had to work faster. So I cut out a lot of stuff out of my day. The social media I saw was just a bad relationship. I mean, I was on for a lot of hours a day. It was a lot of hours. I don't remember exactly how many. I think it's in one of my journals somewhere, but I was on a lot. So you can, if you have goals, if you got wishes, let your spouse know, like, yo, if we really trying to do this, like, are you serious? Your partner, your whoever, your accountability buddy, like, are we really trying to do this? Then we got to be serious. How are we using our time? Because that's all we have. All we have is our time, and it's gonna keep clicking by every day. We live in a culture that seems to want nothing more than to offer up every kind of distraction imaginable. Social media, FOMO, fear of missing out and fear of a better offer, 24-hour news cycles, true crime, video games, movies, music, the internet, work, TV, streaming services, retail shopping, drugs, alcohol, exercise, collecting, reading, idle gossiping, buying and selling, daydreaming, living in the past, or any other external force that hinders you from living the life you desire or achieving the goals you want for yourself. Those are just some examples that I found of distractions. I'm sure there's other ones. Again, not to say any of this is inherently bad. However, all that stuff is going on all day long, and it's those things that in today's world, the social currency can be like, I need to make sure I stay up on all these TV shows and stuff because that's what people talk about. Is watching all of the seasons of whatever, and I'm somebody who watches TV and movies. I like it. I'm here for it. But is watching it, you know, for so long and making sure, like, I gotta stay up on this, I gotta stay up on that. Is that moving us towards our goals? Or are we using it to distract ourselves from maybe that hurt that we feel inside about knowing we aren't chasing our goals? Is it just a way to numb the pain? It might not be alcohol, but does it distract us? Because I believe we all have that something inside of us, you know, even if it's late at night when you're all alone and it's your mind won't stop. It's because your cells are trying to be what they want to be free to what they want to be. And I think most of us just want to be contented. I think we just want to be contented and not be overwhelmed by so many different things. And I think it's important to try and search for that contentment. So these things, you know, none of them are bad. None of them are inherently bad, but they have the potential to become bad. They have the potential to grow into a green monster of distraction that just consumes most of your time, but it gives the false dopamine reward because you feel caught up on something. You feel like you got to the end of something, but if what you got to the end of was a television show, what? I don't know. You know? Like, I don't know. Okay. So let's start now with the actual chamber work stuff. And this one is so important. I can't stress this enough. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about where you're at. Be honest. Being caught in a whirlwind of a distracted existence is extraordinarily common. It's common. That's why we need so many, you know, pills for everything right now, which I think is, I'm not against medicine that helps people. I've had so many medicines help me over the years, and with the MS stuff, you know, I'm going to have this medicine that hopefully continues to help me. However, being caught in a distracted life is not uncommon. Not at all. So don't beat yourself up. If you're living a life that's just full of distractions right now, if you honestly look at yourself and you realize, like, my life, dude, I'm just distracting myself. Like, I have all this time I could be using, but what am I doing? What am I doing here? Who knows? Don't beat yourself up about it. All these systems were designed to keep us distracted in one way or another. You know, that's what they're for, to keep us connected a lot of the times. But we now know that it's built to keep us, you know, engaged for a long time. Like, the longer we're there, the better off, I guess, it is for everybody on the other end of the system. So don't beat yourself up. It takes time to say goodbye to good distractions. Distractions can be some of our closest friends. I long lived a life full of every type of distraction on the aforementioned list and then some more. Anything to sabotage my chances of ever accomplishing those little heart tugs that we sometimes refer to as dreams. When the world would grow angry or scary, distractions were always there to comfort me, to help me hide away from the pain and trauma of life. Little did I know that not dealing with the hurt didn't make it go away. It sat in a dark corner of my being, growing in some fetid pit while I slowly descended into an existence that was almost wholly ruled by distraction. Not being distracted started to hurt too much. Many of my distractions were so embedded in my personality that they began to take on the shape of identity over time. I share all this personal experience as anecdotal evidence to the deep-rooted nature of some of our distractions. In many cases, we have known them for as long as we can remember. Removing distractions can often feel like a divorce. This choice of phrase may seem dramatic at first, yet I assure you that as you work this chamber, it will become increasingly evident that divorce is a warranted word when removing the long-held distractive behaviors. That's very, very true, but I feel like I should put a couple more. What are the examples? What were they outside of the... What were the examples outside of the aforementioned. Thank you for your patience. Aforementioned. So I'll have to fill that in because there are some good ones. I was distracted by everything in life. I would chase it to its end until it always ended up like not what everybody promised. Okay, inventory your time. Keep a journal for a week, Sunday to Sunday. And this might seem like work, but time's going to go by anyway, right? If you really want change in your life, it's going to require work. I write that a bunch in this book. You're going to have to put in work. Not a whole bunch at once. You're not trying to do everything all at one time, though. Like I said, I'm sharing this chamber stuff over the next however long just to get the notes in here so I can get the first edition ready and hopefully work out some kinks and what sounds right, get some feedback from people as I go along. What sounds good, what doesn't sound good. It's not going to change anything super big, but I want to make sure that as I continue, this grows with me because it's important for it to be organic. Okay, I shared and yes, it can feel really hard breaking up with distracted behaviors. One of my biggest distractions was alcohol. That was the easiest distraction because it had a really strong physical effect. I realized one of my other big distractions was video games, where I'd lose myself in like 9 hours of Call of Duty just chasing that next trophy, or my kill-death ratio. Like if it wasn't a certain thing, I was losing my mind about it. But it was a great way to get a dopamine hit while feeling distracted, from the pain and all my trauma and stuff that I was trying to hide away. So keep a journal for a week, and the journal is in here. I've got a worksheet that you can print out, but it would be rad to have it in an app, and that way I could just offer it up. Like, here's the journal, here's the this, here's the that, and you could just punch it in because most of us have our phones most of the time anyway. So do your best not to judge. I don't know who's calling from Morovina, California on a Sunday. Interesting. Do your best not to judge what you do with your time. That is super important in the beginning. Don't I'm a turd. Look at I've been wasting all my life. How can I? Don't do that. There's no reason for that. Don't judge. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge what you do with your time. Document how you spend every waking minute for 7 days, from the first thing you do in the morning, whether that be check your phone or make coffee, to the last thing you do before closing your eyes. Could be check your phone, maybe, before going to bed. I guess I don't need before going to bed if I've got close your eyes. Maybe I put for bed. Before you close your eyes for bed. Because that's a bad habit too. It's like, what's the last thing you look at and the first thing you look at? Like, if the first thing you look at is like some negative shit, you're setting your day up maybe for some negative stuffs. Document it all. See the attached worksheets. Much of this should feel familiar to the lessons from Chamber 1. And that's a big thing. Oh, dude, that's awesome, Leaky. Leaky says, I'm still here. Been playing Dota. That's sweet, though. I'm going to come over and check out your stream at some point, for sure, because I'm an avid gamer. I love video games. It's one of the things I will probably never give up on at life. He says, this is like Tony Robbins talking in my ear. It's great. I appreciate that. But document everything for the 7 days. Much of it should feel familiar. Now be honest with yourself. Is what you documented giving you the life you desire or moving you toward that life? You have to answer that question honestly. Again, be very honest. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say both of those in the book. The next sentence would have been, again, be very honest. So that actually sounds okay. Sorry. Here's my own speaking that made that sound nonsensical. If you start rationalizing, be very wary. It is most likely a distraction trying to hang on. Our distractions don't want to be removed. They are comfortable staying exactly as they are forever. It is up to us as individuals to act upon the knowledge that only different actions will yield different results. I'm going to read that one more time. Only different actions will yield different results. There is no way around that fact. In Chamber 1, or it might have been in the Chamber Guidance stuff, I think it was Chamber 1, I started talking about it at first. Knowledge and wisdom are two very different things, and I apologize for the snotty nose stuff, my sniffles. It's been super humid out, and there's stuff in the air, and whatever. When it comes to wisdom and knowledge, two amazing things, both equally valuable. It's not one is better than the other, one's more important than the other, equally valuable and actually interconnected. They share something, but you gotta connect them. You are the piece that connects knowledge and wisdom. The human being is the one that connects knowledge and wisdom. Any human being. And how you do that, knowledge is the intellectual understanding. Knowledge is saying, I understand that I'm probably spending too much time on my phone. I understand that, 3 hours a day on this or 4 hours a day on that, totaling 7 hours a day, that is too much. That's knowledge. That's knowledge. And you can look at the science. I encourage in the book many times, I say, look it all up yourself, try to vet it, go for it. Because that's usually what I do whenever I'm writing almost anything, is try to at least give it a solid vetting and say, hey, does this make sense? Does it work if you try it? Can it be applicable? Knowledge becomes wisdom after action, and only we can take action. So I have knowledge that I was spending too much time on my social media. Action was breaking up with it, cutting them all off and saying, I just can't do this. Like alcohol, it was cutting it all off and saying, I just can't do this. We need a new relationship. That was the action. Knowledge in action is wisdom. Now, the wisdom has manifested itself as I have so much more free time in my life, and I don't feel that annoying tug that was that like dopamine pull, that addictive relationship that I had with the thing. It's not there anymore. It doesn't exist, which is a good thing. And now I can use it more effectively as a tool. Now, I could still be in where a lot of us, I feel, get trapped and stuck, is I could have the knowledge, but do nothing with it. I know that my social media use is hindering me from achieving my goals. If I don't do anything with it, it's going to stay knowledge and then probably turn into guilt at some point. If I had to guess, I would say it would probably turn into some kind of guilt feeling. So you need to take wisdom. We need to take wisdom and treat it as what it is. It is knowledge plus action. But without the knowledge, you can't have the wisdom. Without the action, you can't have either. So all three are equally important. But if you take the one, add a little action, it was like alcohol. I knew at the end I did not want to drink anymore, but I couldn't help it. I was physically just addicted, but I knew and I knew it was going to kill me if I didn't stop. I knew I was either going to die, just like respiratory failure or something like that, choke on my own vomit, or I was going to get into a car accident and I would, or hurt someone else, which would have just been devastating. But I needed action. I knew, I had the knowledge. I knew intellectually that this was killing me. I understood the science of how and why it was killing me. I knew, but without the action of actually stopping drinking and fighting through that awful feeling of trying to, get away from that demon, without that action, I would never have the wisdom of a clear mind that is alcohol free. So all three things, they're different, but interconnected. So we talked about inventory, keep your time for a week, And then be honest with yourself. Very honest. If you start rationalizing your stuff like, oh, just, a little bit, I'm not too bad. There's people that are worse than me at it. That's a big one. There's people that do it worse than me, so, yeah, not too bad. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not that bad. That's where the rationalization comes in, and you might have to say, just be careful. Tread lightly, to quote Walter White. Tread lightly when you start getting those rationalizations. And like I said, they don't want to be removed. Our distractions are comfortable where they're at. And it's up to us to act upon the knowledge that only different actions will yield different results. There is no way around this fact. Only if we act differently will things come out differently. Number 4, trim the fat. Find the times in your day that aren't moving towards your goals and label those as distractions. This will be painful and difficult. Change almost always is. Even positive change comes with nerves. It is the true nature of change. Stick with it, and the path of change tends to ease. Like we were talking about the workout thing, change is always uncomfortable. No matter what it is, change is always, even positive change is uncomfortable. Number 5, choose one distraction to remove from your life. One. Only do one at a time. Don't change your whole life at once. It almost never, ever, ever yields positive results. Then identify a positive behavior with which to replace the distraction. This can be anything to help move you towards your goals or the life you desire to live. For instance, I sit and let the TV or YouTube play in the background for 3 hours after work while I scroll on my phone. Could become, I sit and let the TV or YouTube play in the background for 3 hours after work while I scroll on my phone, only after I spend 2 hours developing myself, my craft, my business, or my education. Those 2 hours would equate to 14 developmental hours a week. Over the course of a year, you have gained 728 hours towards the life you desire. Think about that. Just 2 hours a day. And we're not really changing a lot. And you could even reduce that, you know what I mean? The 2 hours seems like you could drop that down to an hour. You're still getting 300 and some odd amount of hours, which is super rad. But it's just being honest with yourself about saying, hey, okay, I'm not going to do this. And like I said, you change one at a time. Don't try and change. Oh, do it, Jem. That's awesome. Go for a little nap. Thank you so much for the lurk. Enjoy your nap. Naps are so important. I'm a huge advocate of napping. But those 2 hours would equate to 14. We talked about that a week. And then over the course of a year, you've gained 728 hours. That's a huge amount of hours. Number 6, once you are comfortable with the first distraction being removed, choose another distraction to cut out. I would say that would be, give yourself 21 days. 21 days per distraction. Add that in there. I think all the chambers need better or not better, but maybe an expanded upon, maybe an example case of what it actually might look like. Example case with real world examples. Real world, not always me either, find examples in history, find examples in the modern world. Okay. So yeah, once you're comfortable, I'd say about 21 days with trying to live just one distraction removed, and you're replacing it with something. You're replacing your distraction with something. So maybe if you scrolled for 3 hours on average, you came home and you just sit and did nothing for about 3 hours. Maybe you say, I'm going to sit and do nothing for 2 hours after I do something for an hour. Something that's moving me towards who I want to be. And you're going to slug around at first. You're going to be, uncomfortable doing it. But the more you do it, the more the habit starts getting built into the subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain loves habits. It loves doing things repetitively. We're just taking some of this and replacing. We're not getting rid of one. We're just introducing the new one. Baby steps, little steps, one brick at a time. Repeat step 5 with the new distraction removed. Even if you are gaining 10 to 15 minute blocks of time, they will compound rapidly. So see, it doesn't even have to be 2 full hours. You can be like, I'm just going to do 15 minutes towards the thing that really means something to me. I'm a tattoo artist. Last night, I don't know, I drew for like 2 hours. My queen was sitting there coloring a coloring book, and I have a traditional tattoo, how to draw a traditional tattoo flashbook, and I was like, I'm gonna try and draw this moth and change some stuff up. But cut out the time for what you want to do. If you really want to do it, if it, in your heart of hearts, you want to do this, cut out the time to make it happen. But remember to only remove one distraction at a time. So a little bit of time can go a long way. 15 minutes, half hour can go a long way. 2 hours, you're going to start crushing stuff fast. 2 hours of dedicated focused time, you're going to start crushing stuff fast. Remove too many at once, and it becomes increasingly easy to drop the ball and fall back into the old comfort of distraction. So easy. The distraction will be tempting you, calling you like a siren song. Something like that. She's going to be calling to you, distraction. Calling out. So by removing one at a time, we're mitigating the chance that the distractions are going to, grab us and pull us back in. The habit brain loves the routine of our most common diversions. Take it slow so the brain has time to fully integrate each new distraction-free task without battling the need to worry about other changes happening simultaneously. Don't fret, you got this. So yeah, I think it's slowing down and knowing that time is going to pass regardless. Time is going to go the same, and you don't have to do it all at once. You didn't get to where you are. I didn't get to where I am all at once. It was slowly built up over time. But I do think even a little bit of distraction-free time in your life, moving towards your goal, and if you don't have the goal set out, that goes back to, chambers 1 and 2. And there's worksheets for the goals and things like that. But if you don't have that, or if you have just an hour of distracted free time that you say, I'm cutting this out of my day. I'm saying I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm going to put it away. I'm not going to do this. If you have children, if you have someone to help you, bring them in. Be like, hey, I want to dedicate this time to this. Can you help me during this time? We'll find a time that works best for both of us, that might be easiest. Try and remove as many obstacles as possible. Try to remove the obstacles and just one thing at a time. Carve out the little bit of time, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 2 hours, whether it's an hour, a half hour, 45 minutes, whether you start with 15 and then slowly work up, a half hour until you're getting to an hour. But I think if you really want something in this world, 2 hours of your day is not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask for. To chase something. And don't chase it for me, whatever you want in this world. Whatever it is you want, I think a couple hours a day will get you a long way before you know it. And you might even start to enjoy that time, as you start to see results. Number 7, make your goal to have an hour to an hour and a half of your day for daily distracted indulgence. And this is long-term goal, let me make a note of that. Because we're taking our big goal and breaking it in any instance. We're taking our big goal and breaking it down into little manageable pieces. Oh, terrible. Oh, my boy. My sweet boy. So, yes. Oh, I think my family's home? Hello? Who is it, dog? There's everyone. Okay, let me go see real quick. I think they might be trying to get the door open. I'll be right back. Right back. What, buddy? Seriously. Someone walked by. Somebody walked by. There they go again. So yeah, maybe break that down a little bit, but make your goal. Asher! Come here, boy. Get in here. Stay. Stay. Please. Make your goal to have an hour to an hour and a half a day of your time for daily distracted indulgence. So think about that. If you just set a timer for an hour and a half, call it 2 hours if you need that at first, to say, I am going to do nothing but scroll. Give yourself that time, if that's what you want. Whatever your mindless indulgence is that you want to partake in, give yourself that time to do it, and don't feel guilty about that time. You're doing yourself a favor. We do ourselves a favor when we say, hey, this time is going to be for this time is going to be for that, because you don't, it's not throughout the day, just 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Oh, I'm in line somewhere. I might as well look at something. Oh, I'm doing this. I might as well look at something. Those are the things we're trying to, because even in line somewhere, if you're sitting there with distracted, you could be sitting there formulating a plan. We could be sitting there thinking about, okay, if I was to move, make this move, what's next? What's next? But those little amounts of time, they add up over the day really, really quickly. But give yourself 2 hours to sit there and be like, I'm a full time this 2 hours, and I don't even care. I'm just going to go, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to indulge. But then when your thing goes off, be like, yo, that was a good 2 hours. Now I'm going to give myself to the things I really want to do in this world. And what you want to do in this world could be anything. It could be anything. It could be, streaming video games. It could be connecting with people that way. It could be podcasting. It could be tattooing. It could be accounting. It could be the garbage man. It could be anything that you want to do in this world. Just getting yourself something that moves towards that a little bit. And making sure you're giving yourself the time to do that. Ensure it is blocked in and adhered to while working the chambers. Less if it feels right, but never more, and probably should be less time. So we're talking here about, say you dedicated yourself 2 hours of time that you were going to sit there and scroll. And after an hour and a half, you're like, you know what? I don't even need this whole 2 hours. Totally okay. Totally okay. You're buying back time. Now you can do anything with that half hour. Realistically, you could be like, I'm going to go, stick my feet in the sand. I'm going to go just sit by this tree for a minute. I'm going to go hang out with my kid or my significant other for a second and give them a little bit of my time. Just a dedicated 15 minutes. Hey, how you doing? What's up? It's presents. I'm going to give them my presents. You could do anything with that time. So less time if it feels right, but never more time than an hour and a half a day. Again, I think I might put 2 hours in here because for a lot of people, you're starting with 7 hours. Cutting down to 2 is quite a bit. So I would put 2 hours right here. I think I'm going to do some little drawings to put in here, some pen and ink stuff to go in with the pages as well. Try to view this not as restriction, but freedom of time to pursue the life you desire and the goals you want to see met. Never forget your why. If you are fully content with your lot in life, you would likely not have this book in your hands. Once you feel in your innermost being that you are living distraction-free, move to Chamber 4. So these chambers are meant to be really spend some time with. And then here's a sneak peek at Chamber 4, and then we'll get back to just kind of talking a little bit more about Chamber 3. Chamber 4, push your limits responsibly. Observe the roots of the oldest trees. Build wisely. So I got to get a schedule lined up. I think I've got my journal right here, so we're going to take a couple notes. Man, all you guys for hanging out with me today, seriously, the best. I feel like I made some new friends. Got my notebook. I was writing down all my streaming services. It's kind of crazy how much, not like streaming as far as entertainment type services, but other things that I use for video editing and Let me see, what's that? Clip Cafe I really like. They got a bunch of cool old movie clips and stuff. My Adobe Ghost line, I use that for tattoo stencils every once in a while, which is a cool one. My Meta Verified, I gotta give them a little check mark. Zoom, vidIQ, Clap, CapCut, Canva, all of it. But this is me chasing my dream, man. Like, this is me doing my thing, and I've figured it out, at least what I think is going to work a little bit for now. Hoping, like I said, to add some people. No, you're the best, Leaky. Seriously, you're the best. Hopefully add some people to the group. So let's see, what notes do I need to take right now? And I do this a lot. I'm going to show you my notebook. I covered it with stickers. Some cool ones. There's some good ones on there. But get yourself a notebook. You know, take it with you around. It doesn't have to be this big. It could be just a little, we used to call them will books in the military. It was like a little green pocket book that you would write your stuff down in. Because it was like, I will do this, I will do that. They would be like, get your will books out, and then write that stuff in there. But I am going to develop a schedule for Twitch streams. Or actually, no, it's not even just streams. Let's call it chamber streams. And maybe, Leaky, if you know, like, I don't know how to do, like, the little overlay things and stuff on my videos, you know, like my social media and whatnot and all that in OBS or Will or somebody. I would like to make my video, you know, a little more presentable, I guess, and have the information so people see it, they know where to kind of go and do that stuff. And then set up in Twitch, I still don't fully understand all the little bits and stuff and how to set up the different things that people can do. I would love some help at that point, or at some point doing that. Okay, just develop a schedule for chamber streams. Chamber streams. And then under that, we'll make another one that says, this is how you go. I'm showing you right now how I do my goal planning most of the time. Stuff that I want to knock out. So develop a schedule for chamber streams. Then underneath that, I'm putting develop a content map. And then be like, what do I want to present? How do I want to present it? And this will all come, you know, after I do this initial reading on here. I'll use some time to build that. Under there is there the potential for guests. Potential for SMEs, subject matter expert guests. Something to look into. That'd be kind of cool. Bring somebody on who knows a lot about MS or something like that, or somebody else who's done some writing on the stuff we talk about in the chamber things. It could be fun. Who knows though? So I just need the schedule for that, the content map, and then we're going to call this add flare to the feed. And I'm pretty ignorant on this, so my first thing would be who knows better than me? That's a big step. Try to find someone in your life. I'm very fortunate that I have some people who are good with this kind of streaming stuff. Can I ask them for help? So put that question there. Would they help? Because you don't want to ask of somebody who, you know, might be in the middle of some crazy stuff in life. Is it appropriate for me to ask them, like, hey, can you get my, you want to help me get my stream going? You want to help me get things going? And they're like, dude, you know, I'm doing the interview tonight. We missed an episode last week because Lil Duke Spooky, my co-host on the Horror Pop Extravaganza, he, you know, he was right in the midst, like, of those wildfires. He was sending me pictures. It looked like an apocalypse right across the street from him. He was evacuated, had to be sent out all over. So it's perspective. You know, if somebody's going through a lot and you're asking them, hey, do you got time to carve out for this? Maybe it should be the other way around and be like, yo, I see you're going through a lot. Is there anything I can offer you in this instance to help out? And then maybe you're helping them get settled. And then once they're settled, chilled out a little bit, then you can be like, yo, would you mind? You know, but be mindful of when you're asking people to help. Asking for help is totally okay all the time. We should all be able to ask for help from each other more, but just be mindful of what somebody else might be going through at the same time. So add flair to the feed. Who knows better than me? And then what is essential information? Look at that. We're putting the essentialism. We were talking about it today. What is essential to the flair? I like flair. That's a fun word. What is essential to the flair? Like, what am I trying to convey? What's most important? What am I trying to say? If they see that, if that's all they see, what would you want to see? What would you want to see? To convey. And then some other stuff. See, I even add stuff on here, the stuff I have to do. Like tomorrow, I need to call the VA and schedule appointments because I'm going to a new VA. Going to the VA so I can hear some dude say, turn your head and cough. And I'm be like, yo, bro, this is weird. I'm here for a hearing test. He's like, I don't care. Take your pants off. Call VA and schedule appointments. Because I need to get in with everybody. Appointments. Sometimes my brain with this MS don't work quite as fast. Schedule appointments for primary care and dental. PC and dental. And I'm trying to use this as an example this time right now on this stream to show you just a little bit of dedicated effort, how much you can accomplish just by taking the time to sit down and get it out of the brain and onto some paper. So chamber streams also I need to look into, because I've been wearing the podcast t-shirt out a lot. So let's see if I could get models for pod shirts. I got someone I might call on that. I'm not going to say their name though out loud just because whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to be cognizant of people's, you know, social or digital footprint and stuff like that. Like if you don't want me saying you're like, I don't know, just try a little respect, I guess. And it's someone I'm reaching out to. I don't even know if it's happening yet. So why reveal anything that's not happened yet? Don't say it. Do it. Shirts, and then look for like an possible on-demand model for the shirt ordering. On-demand model or web, maybe some sort of shop pre-orders, and then I can do the orders on top of that, maybe like a web shop type pre-order. Nice. I love me some good games, dude. I'm excited to watch you play, for real. I'm excited. I won't be on this one very much longer, so maybe if you're still playing, I'm gonna hop over your stream, make sure I give you a follow and stuff. Check it out. On-demand model for ordering. So that way we can limit the number of t-shirts. They can pay through like a digital possible, like Shopify maybe, like a digital service. And then if that works, we'll be like, yo, pre-orders are only open from this date to this date. Run it for like 2 weeks, then get a super accurate number, and then get the designs ordered, because I want to still be able to do the custom boxes. And I don't know what I did with that shirt box. I had the one in here. Oh, here it is, yeah. If you didn't see the the shirt box, the beautiful sole, the shirts with the key. This one's got the keychain in it. Not all of them had a keychain, but this is the beautiful sole box. You get the t-shirt, you get a thank you card from yours truly, you get a holographic sticker, you get this dope box, and it's nice too. Like, it ain't some rinky-dink cardboard box, and it's got the full t-shirt design on it. And every time I've worn it out the past couple of weeks, somebody says, yo, I love that shirt, where do I get that shirt? So I feel like it's, I guess, I don't know. I feel like the universe pushed me a little bit and be like, hey, continue to pursue this avenue. You know, if I'm getting a response that I'm not even asking for, then I feel like maybe pursue it a little bit more. And the next design will be coming out in the fall. You can do 4 shirts a year, only 50, quantity of 50 of every shirt. And if we do the pre-orders, that will that'll allow us to really have an accurate count, because I got a couple too many smalls. Awesome. Yes, dude. Thank you, Nick. Nick says, can confirm the shirts are great and the box is incredibly useful. Yeah, dude, that's what I was thinking. I was like, you keep anything in it. Keep some pictures, keep some trinkets, keep some knickknacks, whatever you have that you're like, yo, this box would be perfect to keep this stuff in. But it is. Listen, I tried to make sure that it's nice stuff, you know, and it's cool stuff that you can go out there and show the world your beautiful soul. And it's a fun design. The next design's pretty rad too. I'm going to do the vote. Actually, no, I don't know what the next design is going to be. I'm going to do the revote. We'll probably put that on the Horror Pop socials, and everybody will do a vote on that, and then I'll share it to my own page. So if you don't follow me on the social medias, check me out. And this is where I feel like those overlays would be good. I could be like, hey, it's right here, and then maybe get a stream. I was looking at a Rode stream controller, or maybe it wasn't Rode, but that way I can just pop things up, pop things down, bring things in, bring things out with, you know, a proper control panel. I think that would help. But yes, pre-orders would make... Got it. Pre-orders would mitigate, you know, getting too many of the wrong sizes and stuff. Would mitigate having extra sizes. Having extra rarer sizes. Extra odd size. Let's call it odd. Odd sizes. So yeah, I'm really going to look into that, and maybe even some, I think I want to do a Horror Pop beanie. Possibly design an HPE beanie. HPE beanie, which I think would be, you know, we're in the cold up here. We in the wintry winters, and I think those would be a ton of fun. And then I also want to try to identify local shops. Identify local shops where we could potentially put a display. I guess I could potentially put, like, I was thinking it would be cool, because I'm all about community, you know, putting back into the community and showing the community that serves, you know, me in so many ways, all those stores I visit and stuff. Show them love, man. Show your community love. Build it one person at a time. So look for shops where we could potentially put a small, what you call that? Not a marquee, but a small display. There you go. Display is the word. And then size display out. So mock-up display. Like, what would be the bare minimum that you would need in order to, you know, be effective? Because they could probably, the boxes they could put behind the counter, or maybe in like some kind of storage room. But my thought process here is you support the community by doing exclusive designs that are only to them. Exclusive shop or establishment designs. Establishment designs. And it's, you know, I'm talking the mom and pops and shit like that. Not He wouldn't be like, I'm going to Meijer to get the exclusive HPE thing. No, it'd be like the antique shop downtown or something like that, or the coffee shop, do an exclusive design that is tied to them and maybe only do 25 of those. And you gotta, just let everybody know, hey, the sign up for the shirts is going to be at this time. And then maybe have the books on the display and just have one example of what the shirt is inside the box. Have the odds of, you could win the keychain. I might even do something else cool for the exclusive. See if maybe, like, say we did the Raven. I don't know. Somebody, if the Raven was a possibility, that'd be amazing. But we do that. We do a shirt for them, and then maybe they could toss in, a mug or something and a little bit of coffee. So it's like a true exclusive kind of package deal, one of a kind box. You can only get it, the one way, but I think that might be neat too. But the biggest thing for me is just making sure that I don't lose sight of the mission. And the mission started with, I have an LLC, and the mission started, the LLC's name is Ink, Love, and Kindness. And that is what I am. Everything is kind of stemming from those things. It is stemming from the ink portion. That's the artist in me. I feel so blessed, truly just honored, humbled, everything that I get to be an artist for a living. I can't believe it. It is truly a dream come true. The MS might have slowed me down a little bit, but it hasn't stopped me doing anything. I'm looking for different avenues to pursue, even if it's not tattooing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week like I really wanted to when I started. I still get to tattoo. I still enjoy it. I still am developing in the tattoo world, developing my art. But with this stuff, the merchandising, the t-shirts, that every single one of them is designed by me. I do the design work myself, and they are very important to me. Each one, like when I write the little thank you cards, like I genuinely try and put a little love. Like if I can send out little boxes of peace out into the world, at least somebody will open it. And I try to make cool designs, like something that somebody wants to wear, something that they actually dig on. And I want that to grow, because the bigger we can grow, the more opportunity there's going to be to give money back into the community. I'm trying to it's my dream. Like I've got it up on my board up here, my 5-year type goal, to be first, to be embedded into the community a little bit more and to actually be in that space. So very excited. I've already got onto the St. Clair County Veterans Affairs on the committee there. Life's still been a little busy with the moving stuff, but getting some things facilitated and coordinated. Actually, I'm going to put that down. I need to design the flyer for the VA golf event. Design the flyers for each artist. Design artist flyers. Don't spell design wrong. Design artist flyers and raffle buckets and stuff for VA golf annual golf outing. Annual golf outing. And then I need to mock up the table, so I need to, and this is how you do it. You just break it down little steps by steps. Mock up table. But the first step there would be get table dimensions from Ryan. And then I need to find out, is there power? Because you can do cool stuff. You got a power outlet. We could do some lights. I could bring some of the artists have these cool tabletop boards that cycle through their work and stuff like that. Like that'd be a lot of fun for a few of them. So yeah, we've got that ready to go. We just did a lot of cool chamber work. Felt good. Visited with Thich Nhat Hanh. Made some new friends. Focused. Just sat and focused. And if if you do stuff like this, there's something magical that happens when you get stuff out of your brain and write it on a piece of paper. It is okay to use a digital, make a notes list or some kind of reminder app or something like that. Like that's okay. but it does unlock something in our subconscious or something in our brain, some kind of something it unlocks when we write it on paper. It takes it out of the intangible and makes it tangible. And now I've got, steps of things to do. They're all out of my head. I'm not worried about it, not panicking. That would be a total of, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes we spent on that. I'll have to go back and look at the video when we're all done. But the first thing I'm going to do, you know what? There's one more thing I got to put on here, though. Shoot. And that has to be done today. Because I told them I would. Make flyer for high school reunion. And then I'll put a little thing under there just to give myself a head start. Notes in Facebook Messenger group chat. So I know right where to go when I'm going to start that. And that might seem like excessive to some people, but to me, it buys me time back. Everything's about buying my time back. So that I have an extra 2 hours, 3 hours to play video games, because I'm able to accomplish all the stuff I really want to do in like 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't take all day when you focus in a little bit. Okay, so we got all of our notes done. We've had a good time. Oh, beautiful. I am going to get ready to go for now. Let's, before I do though, I'm going to toss this on real quick. I'm going to toss this on. Anybody want to hear a couple bars from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on vinyl? Let's get this, let's put this Joker on. And then I'll probably listen to this. I'm going to watch Leaky. Leaky's still playing some Dota. I'm gonna watch that a little bit while I work on some of the stuff I was just talking about. Or I'll probably watch that movie first for the interview tonight. So that way I know I'm set, take some notes, give it my attention. Let's see what the vinyl looks like. Oh, like a slab of meat. Brutal. Oh, Sally's eye is on the other side. Marilyn Burns, one of the original Scream Queens. Yeah, I could probably jump on Discord. I'm gonna take a break to get some food in me real quick. I'm a little hungry. Hi, boy. Yeah, I'll get used to that. And the animals need fed. He's getting all antsy. All right, let's check this out. There it goes. Main title. Side A, track 1. I hear it. Oh, it's the gravy artist, the sound of the shovel. Dude, what a gnarly opening. And then you get the news report. Bunch of freaking bodies. Oh, there it is. Don't be quiet. Listen. That's the facts. It's the flashbulb camera. It's the flashbulb. You just know the Texas heat is about to dawn upon group of 5. Wait, how many do we have? 1, 2, yeah, group of 5 unfortunate souls. We had Pam, you got Franklin, you got Sally, you got Kirk, and you got Jerry. Yeah, so we have 5 people out there. Kirk! And that noise right there, that like, boom. I think they even say in here in the book, they have a list of all the instruments that were used. Let's check that out real quick. That's the last thing, and then I'll leave you the rest of your day. Again, thank you so much. Okay, first the instrumentation. 18-inch suspended cymbal, a Zildan, and then a 20-inch. I don't know if I'm saying these right. I'm not a drummer. Pasty medium ride cymbal. Pasty, who knows? 1960K upright 5-string bass with movable metal bridge. That sounds sick. With a movable metal bridge like that. Late 1940s Fender Dual Pro 8 twin neck lap steel guitar. Children's toy percussion set. Various wildlife calls, whistles, and shakers. An 11-inch solid aluminum saucepan. 15 by 10-inch thin aluminum lithography plates, along with other things now lost to memory or sworn to secrecy. Come on, don't be that cool. I can't wait to read this whole thing and listen to this whole album. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Thank you again so much. Leaky, I'll be over in a few. Check everything out. Like I said, I'm gonna grab something to eat real quick, and then I'll be back. Thank you all again. Kindness, calm, I give it to you. Kindness and calm, please take some. I hope you have that throughout your day, even if you point it a little bit at yourself. Keep your eyes posted to all the different places, as I'll probably have the schedule out soon of how often I'll be doing this and what dates and times. All right, take it easy.